it's the tongue, yeah, burn. Show tune in right now. Like and share, our city needs that vow. Flint City News got truth to share. When we fight the darkness, we repair. Won't give up, we're standing tall and proud. Voices rising strong, no longer shrouded. Residents deserve what's right and fair. Together we can lift the despair. We fight, we win, we break the chains. Tongue your burns won't stand out in the rain. Our city dreams will make them true. With every step it all renews. Renew, step it all renews.
Hey, good evening, everyone. So listen, we were having some technical problems. So what we're going to do is to still try to bring Carol in. And so we may go through some technical issues. So she may be trying to pop in to get on. So for all of you who waited, thank you. Appreciate you. And producer Jay, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Okay, so what we will do if she try to pop in, we will just, I don't know what we do to get, because she's having some serious internet.
So yeah, she was back in, and her connection was really good. And at the end of that, it went back to
It
bad
dropped.
connection. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to periodically, I didn't want to keep everyone waiting. So look, what we're going to do is we're going to get started. And when she pops in, what we will do is share. But I do want to say, look, drop in where you from. Put what state that you're from, what city where you're from, so we can greet you. So Jeremiah Jackson, Michael Clack, Debbie Clark, Kathleen Trouser, Stanley Wood, Merck 76, Brenda how you doing? Foxy Taroxy 3, how you doing? We got the new VIP room who was waiting on us. Dr. Padroni, hey, what's going on? So listen, drop in where you're from. Hey, Steph. Hey, David. So Bergeron. So wherever you're from, we're going to be trying to connect Carol when she gets back in. She has some serious technical issues. Some serious ones. Seriously. So we got Ypsilanti in the house. Good evening from Georgia. Tasha Lynn. Hey, Mr. LC2U. Hey, Jersey. Hey, Memphis. Hey, Gutter Black. I just like saying that. From Dallas. Listen, wherever you are from, I appreciate you spending and giving us your time. Doc Smith from Sin City, Nevada. Okay. And here we is, Santa Clarita, California. How y'all doing? Listen, we got some breaking news. Keep putting them in as you come in. I know we're a little late. We got some technical problems. Carol's going to still continue to try to join us. Julian 24, hey, 724. Cash Williams from South Jersey. Listen, I just like saying that too. Listen, living life with hey, Angie. How y'all doing? So listen, she's going to still try to connect with us. And I want her on here. But when I say her connectivity is terrible, hey, Eddie Gray, y'all, it's terrible. You won't be, her picture keeps dropping, her it keeps freezing, her voice keeps You could not understand it. Sound like a robot. That's how it sounded. Hey, Kevin Lofton. So it's really bad. But we do have breaking news while she's working on it. Producer Jay. He probably working with Carol, y'all. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Listen, so here's what's going on. So in August of 2023, Councilman Mays and I filed a case against the city of Flint dealing with the ARPA committee and how the ARPA committee were giving, excuse me, what the ARPA committee was approving the funds. So one of the issues with the ARPA committee, and the ARPA committee no longer exists to date as of now. And even though it does not exist, we still do have some ARPA funds. Now we know that nobody really knows how much you really have in ARPA funds when you ask questions. And Judy just kept forgetting her little laptop, and we don't see Mr. Jasinski. We don't see him anymore. So the Flint ARPA committee was
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we can. Hey, we can't see you though. Oh no, we got.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you and see you.
I was just gonna say because I don't know what's going on, honey. Because I can see myself on here, and okay,
We can
I
hear
don't
you
know
and
how.
see you.
Okay, well, thank God. Hi.
So Carol is here. So everyone who knows is Carol McIntosh. Carol McIntosh was a school board president. She served on a Flint school board. She also served on the Ethics and Accountability Board, and she ran for the first ward, which people probably now have a lot of voters remorse, a ton of voters remorse. So yeah. Listen, people calling you like you had the seat and it should have been yours.
Yes, they were. They were, and out of respect for the fact that the voters let their voice be heard. They decided who they wanted to do the job. So, out of respect for the process, it's very hard not to step on people's feet, especially when they've aborted the mission, because the passion is still there. But you have to respect who people decide that they want to be. Yeah, it's been a little different.
Yeah, it has, but I know you still kept your footing in the community. And what some people don't know is that you have lived your life
Absolutely.
in the first ward since was it kindergarten? And so when people
Pre-K, yes,
pre-K, when people kept saying, "Oh, she does not live in the first ward," I'm like, that is a lie. I mean,
my whole life.
right, right. I'm like, that is a lie. I know for a fact, So you live where you say you live. But look, I am glad that you were on here because I like having your different spin on things. Because you the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help you, Lord.
Help me, God. Help me, Lord. Help me. Because, we have a problem with the truth in our community. Let's just be clear.
Say it again.
Which is part of the issue with us getting the things that we deserve as residents. We've spent a lot of time believing in people who have ultimately made a fool out of us as a community. And so now here we are, right?
Here we
So,
are. Or here we
mhm.
is who's in the comment. Listen, everyone on there, please hit the like button, and we're going to get back to the breaking news. I know that Eleanor Wickard asked if we get back to the breaking news. We definitely are.
Yeah,
I want to make sure
yeah.
we have some other things that Eleanor we are working on the back end. So I want to make sure when that goes on that we are not having any issues. So it will be coming on. So Merck said instead how she was cheated out. They said, "Listen, I'm telling you, I don't know how they be counting down there." But I'm gonna only say the bracelet I know that was counted right was 165 to 165. Beverly Biggs and AC Dumas. That one was done correctly because they had a whole block gate and completely different. So that one,
Gloria be doing that one for them and one for you and two for her people type of counting. Some of that old mess.
Hey, Sheena B, thank you for joining us. Hey, Kawana Mac.
Hey, Sheena. Hey, Kawana.
So listen, hit that like button so we can push the algorithm out. So Carol, I believe I spoke to you about this earlier. Today was busy. Oh, my notification did not stand on business. Oh, Sheena's notification bell didn't notify her. Uh-oh. So thank you to the moderators. Where's Patrick Green? Sheena Beckton, our one of our favorite outsiders. Hey, Sonia Carbino. But listen, she is the moderator. I don't see Patrick Jean in there yet. So Sheena's been busy being HGTV Wonder Woman. Yeah. Hey, Pastor Thompson St. Mark, and hey, Steph Love. So listen, Carol, we had talked about, I believe I talked about it. Me and you talk so much, it's just like everything. But
Everything.
I don't know. Yeah. So we started with there is breaking news that I want to share with everyone. Hey, Lorna. The breaking news where I got to the fact where we were talking about in August of 2023, Councilman Mays, may he rest in heaven, and I filed a lawsuit. Our attorneys were the Lento Law Group. Okay, so all y'all who doubted them, we gonna have to let them know this was a win-win. So, hey, Sherry Williams, Atlanta GA in the house. So they filed in the court. So the first court case, let me back it up. So with the ARPA committee was a committee which was not, it was selected by not city council. We had no one we placed on that board, no one. And so when you have that, the charter is very clear when it speaks to that. So it went to, can we put up the charter? I mean, the charter, the ARPA committee. I did send a photo of that, please. Hey, Keith Downey. Hey, Tara. And then we'll put this one up. And I need to actually, I did all this and forgot to, because I left with my little, my little charter be looking janky. I mean, it's, I got 3 of them and none of them are in good shape at all.
Right.
Literally.
That's what happens when you read it. That's what happens when you read the
Right. So this is the ARPA Advisory Committee. And the ARPA Advisory Committee consisted of 12 people. Each person, some wards had 2, some only had 5. So each of these individuals were serving on the ARPA committee. And then Leon L. Alameen was not a councilman, but he is now a councilman, and he had dropped off from the ARPA committee. However, he did have a nerve to give for his request was for $150,000. So this is the ARPA committee.
Now his request was for his nonprofit, right?
Maid Institute. Yes, it was.
Okay. Just want to be clear on that.
So it was for the Maid Institute. And so this is the ARPA committee. So this is what we challenged, Councilman Mays and myself. Reason being, number one, the ARPA committee, we didn't have input. And according to, and I'm going to pause it, I'm going to read it right out the thing. So give me just a, yeah. Because I left with my charter with me today. So,
right. My lighting is coming.
So I am sorry, everybody. Okay. Okay. So my charter, so y'all know, is in my bag. I ain't joking.
Let me go grab mine too.
So I literally had it with me where I went. And I had a meeting today because we started a group, Color of Law Coalition. We started one. So in this charter, we're going to wait for Carol. But in the meantime, my daughter got this bag for me. And I love it. While we're waiting for Carol to get her things, it says on the bag, she is extraordinary. She is creative. She is intelligent. She is phenomenal. She is confident. She is kind. She is important. She is magical. She is authentic. She is amazing.
Yeah.
And it says, and she is me. So my daughter got me this little bag. And I love this little bag. So let me know when you're ready, Carol.
I'm ready.
Page 5. You got your glasses?
No, and I didn't find my charter. Girl, it's terrible.
You want me to read it? I was gonna have you read it. Did she freeze?
Girl, no, this phone and click to the side. Just go on with. I'll get it back together. Just go on without me. I'll find my way
Okay.
back.
Okay, so
Mhm.
in the city charter, page 5, it states that multi-member bodies. Now, this looks like a multi-member body because this is more than one person.
Absolutely.
So in the charter, page 5, it states multi-member body. Multi-member body means any board, commission, ad hoc committee, advisory committee, or any group, however designated, composed of more than one person. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 12 people up
Yeah,
there.
12 people, a
12 people.
dozen.
Right, a dozen.
Yeah.
Commission, ad hoc committee, advisory committee, and any group of however designated, composed of more than one person and acting or perpetuating to act in the exercise of official duties. That's what a multi-member body is. So that was some of the concerns because they were meeting privately and secretly in the public library. They were meeting
Hmm.
there. When we asked, they were literally lying. Our ad hoc committee, Judy and Liddell, Councilman Mays had appointed them to the ad hoc committee. They stated they were not meeting. They were meeting at the Flint Public Library in a private reserve room, and it was even having food catered in. The decisions that they were
Okay.
making were with the
So now let me say
$94.7
this.
million.
Let me say this. Now, if you are lying about a meeting, then you cannot be following the Open Meetings Act. Because if you're not allowing the city council to know you're having meetings, you're not allowing the public to know either. And these meetings were specific to designate, delegate, and divide up federal dollars that was allocated to the city of Flint, which means they were obligated to discuss these funds and the distribution in the open in front of the public. Proceed.
So during is that is correct. So they stated also this was not a multi-member body. Um, a veteran, George Grundy, was there, went to walk into the room. He was in the library. They told him he had to leave. Now, remember, they're discussing how to allocate, how to give, where to put what organizations will qualify for the ARPA funds. $94.7 million is the money that they were chopping up to see what money would go where and who would receive it. 94.7. So one of the issues, because we know that he has had a blue ribbon committee, the safety patrol committee, the ARPA committee, and now he has a ambassador, which it is more than one, because he was claiming he was going to get two. I mean, he was saying he was going to get three, and he got two. So what the court said, and so we took him to court. Can we put up the press conference, please, and play that? So there's a longer version, and I will put the longer version on the Tanya Burns show so you can watch it all. And then I'll put it also on my personal Facebook page. And so
On the screen that froze.
when you get it, producer Jay, just pop it up. And so here's one of the things. People have to stay the course. And I know you get distracted, and I know Flint gets fatigued and Flint gets tired, but we have to stay the course. And shout out to Electoral Law Group. This is a win for them. This is a clear win.
Still unfolding disputes among Flint City Council members over spending the nearly $94 million the city received from the American Rescue Plan Act. Today, those disputes escalated into a lawsuit filed by 6 Flint residents, including council members Tanya Burns and Eric Mays, over an advisory committee set up by Mayor Sheldon Neely. The committee makes recommendations about spending that money. The lawsuit claims the committee was set up step illegally and is operating illegally and without oversight. Fast forward to tonight's meeting, which TV5's Lanita Brooks is now back from. She joins us live in Flint. Lanita.
During this afternoon's news conference about the lawsuit, the city sent out a news release about allocating $5 million of ARPA funds toward home repairs for Flint residents. Tonight's meeting included a resolution presented by the administration to make that allocation a reality, but disagreements on the amount of funds to allocate, as well as heated discussions that led to several council members leaving that meeting early, prevented anything from being passed tonight.
Without us going through the agenda, some important things were on there, which were ARPA funds. They left to where we did not have discussion, and this is our working time. They didn't stay. Some made comments about the audience. We're here for the residents. The residents have been waiting to get help and relief from those ARPA funds since they were deposited into our city coffers in 2021. We didn't stay. Some people didn't stay to do the work.
It doesn't surprise me that 4 or 5 of my colleagues won't stay to do the business. They get up and leave. You got recalls going on. And I'm in favor of trying to fix this council and getting the work done.
Now, it is also worth noting that while they are upset that nothing got accomplished tonight, in that same token, they are also accusing the committee of acting illegally on the very subject that they were considering tonight. We reached out to Mayor Neely's office related to the lawsuit. We have yet to hear back. We're live in Flint. Lanita Brooks, WNEM, TV5.
So, when the case was initially filed, it was filed in, and if we can put the court case up, in Genesee County, and I believe Judge Christensen was the judge. Judge Christensen stated that basically there were no issues, that they had the right to do it. It was not a ARPA committee. It was not a multi-member body, that it did not apply, that our city charter, which we're governed by page 5 underneath multi-member body, which it tells you what a multi-member body is. It tells you. He said it didn't apply. And so when he stated that it didn't apply, the decision we lost. So Lento Law took it to the appeals court. So in the case that you're reading, it states in here, when this decision was given today, July 9th, for publication at 10:30 a.m. So, and they stated, the background facts and went into all of that. And so the conclusion of it, and can you put that up for me, please? That's a little short one. So me and Mays argue that it's a multi-member body. You got what'd you say, Carol? A whole dozen.
Mm-hmm. A whole dozen of people. And this is why it's a multi-member body and blah, blah, blah. Because you're making decisions for the community and the public, baby. If you wasn't moving any federal dollars or making decisions for the public, and y'all was just a group meeting and having tea and sharing ideas, that would be something different. But you have motion, and if you can make motion, then you're supposed to have a board, and somebody is supposed to be somebody is supposed to be bringing these things to the floor, and these are things that are supposed to be discussed openly for the public to hear, because if it concerns the public and you're using federal dollars, it is no way for you to get around the Open Meetings Act. You are A, in violation right there, B, because you had council members sitting on the city council, sitting on the ARPA committee, making decisions for their nonprofits to receive money. That is a conflict of interest, and they know good and D well it is, or would be no reason to swear in that you won't do that. If I can get on another committee and kick the money to another committee and then kick the money to my nonprofit, that was the whole point in this transparency and all these roadblocks to stop this type of thievery. So the fact that the court is pretending like they don't understand, and this is the law, and this is very clear, and government has been going on too long for the courts in Flint to pretend like they don't understand the language. That's the first problem. And that is how you know that our courts are also corrupt. That is why these politicians here in Flint do these things openly. They're all in on it. What is going on with Donald Trump, the same plays that are going on in Washington, those are the same plays they're running. They're just violating the law. They're just running over the city council, which is the same thing that he's doing to federal employees in the Congress. These are the same plays that Republicans are using to destroy democracy. Okay? And that
So
is why Erin Mays is
let me
out the way.
because they didn't have a problem with the Open Meetings Act. So let me read the conclusion, because they stated we couldn't be
Okay, go ahead.
violating it basically because it should have never been it should have never been able to do, because it wasn't a multi-member body. So because that was a question
Okay.
that I had. So the
Okay.
conclusion, it was unanimous by the Michigan State of Appeals Court, stated because we agree with plaintiffs that the ARPA committee is a multi-member body under Flint City Charter. Plaintiffs have stated a claim that the formation of that committee violated Flint City Charter Section 6-101, and that the trial court erred, they were wrong, by granting summary position to defendants on count 1. So that states that they were wrong. It's a multi-member body. Now, we also asked for a legal opinion from Attorney Kim. He stated it wasn't a problem. He stated it wasn't. And so here it is. We have failed issues with our city, our council, our legal department, Attorney Kim. And then now, I mean, multi-member, it was 12 people on there. Come on, just count.
Let me say this, Tanya. And it is also, because this was what leading up to what I was saying, and it is no co-inky dink that every time we lose one of these cases here in the city of Flint's courts, okay, that if you appeal it, voila, you win.
You're
Ain't
right.
that just amazing?
That
How every
happens.
time, if you got the money, see what they're counting on is you not being able to finance the fight. If you can finance the fight, you can kick tail and win the war. They keep us broke, like they keep you fired, they keep you all messed up, they keep your money messed up and all this, so you can't fight them. And that's what they did to Mays. Proceed.
So,
I'm trying to be nice.
No, I'm trying to finish this real quick, because then I'm going to let you take the flow. Because I know you heated. I was like, I'm going to present the stuff and then just let her just do her thing. So the second count, it says that, so we finished on, so count 1, they were wrong. Conversely, because we agree with the defendants that the ARPA committee is not a public body, under the Open Meetings Act, the trial court was correct to grant summary disposition on count 2. That's because you can't violate it. They should have never been a committee. They were holding illegal meetings.
Exactly.
Mayor Neely was completely wrong on this. It says the trial court was correct to grant summary disposition on count 2. We therefore affirm in part, reverse in part, and remand for further proceedings. We do not retain jurisdiction. It was unanimous that the ARPA committee was an illegal committee. And according to our charter, page 5, it was a multi-member body. And when you allow them to just keep doing things, this was something that me and May stayed on them with. And we took a lot of heat. Mayor Neely threatened, oh, I'm going to do this to all of you guys. I'm going to garnish you guys' checks. We need him to pay for that $225,000 with Ray Barton, Fire Chief Ray Barton. Carol, you got the flow. What's your thoughts?
Okay. So this is what I have to say about that. Like I said, he's doing the same thing that Donald Trump is doing. First of all, this man was on the city council, okay, for a couple terms. I know he was on there for 1 term. Then he was a state representative. This man knows good and damn well All of this stuff he's doing is illegal. The only reason he is doing it is because he knows Layton and Sheriff Swanson is not going to hold him responsible because they are all in it together. And look at these judges that mess these cases up, okay? Because they're going to ask you to reelect them. But if they don't even know the law, why in the H would you keep electing them? We can elect Bert and Ernie, okay? The fact that they sit up here and collect paychecks and refuse to, because when you violate the Open Means Act, Tanya Burns and Eric Mays shouldn't have to act like they the law. We got a prosecutor. We got sheriffs. We got the law. Why won't they do their job? You know why? Because they all in it together. Flint, we don't have anything. We get some of the most funding from the state, but yet we have nothing. Back to the school district, the same thing happened with the school district. They were putting people on the payroll, making positions that wasn't even on the you have a flow chart of positions that your budget allows you to fill. They just adding people on the budget. They just throwing their friend on the budget. They just making people executives. They paying their cousin. They hiring their auntie. That is why we broke. Because it's not enough for all of them to steal for their cousins, friends, and aunties. And then the worst part about it, I might not even be mad if they were stealing. This is what pissed me off. You don't even have a desire to pretend like you're doing the job. Okay? These people just do not do the job. And this is really what makes me mad when these bodies vote in favor of the residents. Say like if we that's like those people on Brownell. They won with the city council that there was going to be a cancer cluster study done on cancer study done solely for their street because they had so many people died from cancer that may have been linked to the water crisis. Guess what? That was years ago that was voted on. Guess what? Nothing has happened for them. And that is how it goes. When these bodies vote to do something beneficial for the residents, the people that are in authority, like Sheldon Nilly, like these superintendents at the school district, like a David Lay, all these people that should be, and David Layton shouldn't be making this move, but I just threw him in because he's pissing me off because he won't do his job. But these people who are supposed to extradite do not extradite. They just let that just flow on by. But the things that benefit them and their constituents, they put that stuff in motion immediately. Soon as it's voted for, it's got to be some movement. It was voted on. But when something is voted on for you, it takes 4, 5, 6 years to address. And that is because they're waiting on a new council. That is because they're waiting on a new school board. That is because they're waiting on some of their people to get in, to not extradite, take that money that was allocated for that and kick it back to them. That is what is happening. And I propose to you, City of Flint voters and residents, if somebody has not lived in the city of Flint or that area for at least 5 years because we have a corruption issue, don't even consider them. How about that? Give yourself 5 years. If they ain't been here for 5 years, they don't know what we've been through. They have no business making decisions for us because we have a corruption issue. We have trust issues. Okay, you can buy these folks a little.
Well, she done froze up. So she'll unfreeze shortly. So y'all know Carol can go. So again, if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us wherever you are joining us from. The case was a case with Councilman Mays and myself. It was the attorneys were Lentil Law Group. Lentil Law Group, we lost the case in Genesee County. We took it to the Michigan State of Appeals Court. Michigan State of Appeals Court stated that this was not a multi-member body. Therefore, they should not have been making decisions to divvy up the $94.7 million. There was no one there to take notes. Nothing was recorded by the city clerk. City clerk wasn't informed when these meetings were. There was no secretary. There was no roll call. They ran this meeting in secrecy, complete secrecy. And when asked about it, they lied. $94.7 million was divvied up. And when it was divvied up, it was by an illegal board. They claimed it was not a multi-member body. Because guess what happens with the multi-member body? You have to come to city council by resolution. And that's why we have the city charter. That didn't happen. They skirted the system. Now they're trying to say, oh, it won't matter. No, it still does matter because there's still some ARPA funds left. Not just that, there will be another step from here. This was an illegal board that was set up. It's a whole dozen or 12 folks on here. So we know it was illegal. And so I'm elated to be able to, I mean, because sometimes it's a long time coming. And one thing I've noticed in Flint, you got to fight for everything. I have never been to court so much in my entire life. Not ever. Dealing with the city of Flint, you got to fight because it's a I know you, it's a who knows who. And that's how a lot of things are getting done. So this was a win for Electoral law. The Michigan State of Appeals Court did state that it was a multi-member body. So it was illegally set up. So Carol, you want to wrap this up? Because then I want to go on to the postcard. But before we get to that, I do want to read because I sent a letter because we have this ambassador. What do you think about the third? So the ambassador, we know that a multi-member body, according to the charter, multi-member body means any board, commission, or ad hoc committee, advisory committee, and any group, however designated, composed of one or more person. The ambassador group I don't know what your ambassador folks was supposed to be 3. That's more than 1. He appointed 2, but he only talks about 1. But there are 2. That's a multi-member body. Because what are they doing? They're perpetuating, they're acting, they're taking concerns of the residents. LaShawna, she's at city council saying, if you want to get a house repairs, call me. I'm your ambassador. She's calling and saying, if you have a problem and talking to people out in the hallway, you need to call me. What do you think about that? Because I sent a letter to the city attorney and the city clerk.
I think that that's illegal. I think that is called buying votes. That's what that's called. Okay. See, that's the problem that I got with these clowns. They not doing nothing new under the sun. They doing what's been going on, breaking the law. The problem is what they're doing new under the sun is they're getting away with it wide open for the world to see. That's the only thing they're doing. And like I said, that's because we got people like and Green, Sheriff Green. Let's not even talk about him. As long as we have the people that are supposed to put these folks in check on their payroll for the kickback, just like everybody that ran against me that was supposed to, we had an agreement. And I'm gonna speak on this, me and Miss Rose Myra. We had an agreement, whoever won would support the other person. She sent me this 25-page text about please don't let him win and fight, fight, fight. And then he called up and offered her if a hope and a maybe, a few hamburgers, and threw her $3 on the backside. And she changed her whole story, lied and said she didn't say that. But she's so ignorant. I guess she thought I wasn't gonna keep the text messages, and I still didn't show the whole text message. I just showed a little bit because it was really pathetic how she lied and got so two-faced it so quick. And see, this is the problem with Flint and also Billy Billings. They bought him off for a Cracker Barrel meal and cut a tree down. See, that's called bribery. That's called corruption. When you bribe somebody to be a write-in to split the vote. You see what I'm saying? And our government participates in all that. Our mayor participates in all that. Ms. Burns, you gonna show that little clip or talk about that one situation where the guy said a local politician sent him for our brother? See, this type of stuff.
Yeah,
As long as we
I
have,
haven't had a chance to go back to that. So
okay, I'm
me
not
and
gonna
you
speak
will
on it
probably have to
because
come
I
on
know
another day. Yeah, we're gonna have to
oh,
come
you ain't
back.
speaking on that tonight.
No, I had a meeting. I have that Color of Law Coalition, and I
Okay.
haven't had a spare 2 hours at all.
Okay. So and then we have a young man running around here talking about the mayor has told him to come after somebody that didn't agree with his politics. So now you jumping on people who protest peacefully. Now you violating the residents' right to protest and for peaceful assembly and a right to hold their government responsible. Okay, I got a right to ask you why you not doing your job, Mr. Mayor. I got a right to ask the police chief, how come all these kids coming up dead and you think your tail ain't got to show up to the scene? I got a right to ask you where you been and all this is going on. And every time I look up, you the mayor and you got yourself somewhere grinning and taking photo ops, but then all these folks coming up dead and folks looking for you and you ain't nowhere to be found. Okay, I got a problem when they know good and well that city council people don't even live in the city. How come Layton ain't picked them up? This man went and filed a PPO and put his real address that is not in Flint on the paperwork. But yet some residents got to complain. And then when the residents did complain, the law went after them. They still ain't said nothing to this Negro about falsifying a government document, okay, voter fraud, okay, and all a host of other hot pocket thieving, low life offenses, okay. And Sheldon Neely going around telling people how they can get a nonprofit so they can receive their money. All this is taking place. All this people are testifying openly to, and yet nobody in the law sees any laws being broke. Not nobody that has ever took the oath realizes that laws are being are they retarded? Are they corrupt? Should they be on Sesame Street? What is wrong with these folks? Other than they getting some money too. That's the only thing that explains this. And this always happens to black cities, marginalized cities, poor cities, working class cities. We have not, because when it's our turn, they take it from us. And that is what's happening to us now. Your house, your roof is leaking, your porch is falling in, your windows are drafty. Here comes winter again. Your electric bill will be $300 and $400 and $500 on a hut when people staying in mansions. Electric bill ain't high as yours.
Well,
Okay,
hold
because
on.
guess what?
I'm gonna say this because LaShawn, who was running, and she has, literally, she is told on her campaign, telling people, deal with Adele. Adele has got the money person. Vote me in. I'm gonna help you get your house repaired. This is what residents are saying, and
She
so,
knocking on
so
people's doors saying
her
this to
house,
people.
her yeah. So her house literally looks very nice. She has brand new siding, brand new windows, brand new front porch, brand new roof. And she says she's been waiting for 5 years. That program doesn't allow you to get all of that done at the same time.
Mm,
It does
mm,
not. It does not.
uh.
And
Now,
so
ain't it
people,
amazing how all Sheldon Nilly's friends and proteges, all these programs just work so grand for them, but they don't work for nobody else. Ain't that amazing?
it looks really nice. I mean, it
I
really
bet
does.
it do.
But this is what now, and she's telling people, and residents are riding by and looking and taking a look. Someone, they sent me a picture and was upset because they said they had been on the list and you can
And
only get
can't
like
get and
one person.
can't get
Yeah,
nothing. Can't get one window, and she done got a whole house darn near put together and rebuilt. It's
she did.
pathetic. It's pathetic.
She did. So when we look at how things are done, and even listening to some of the things when Rodney Porter was talking about, Rodney Porter was saying he didn't get the money from the mayor. And this was on A1 News Media Group in an interview that Winters did with him, and that mayor did tell him he would pay him, and I believe it's with ARPA funds. But I'm gonna get back into that part later. That is what we're talking about. I haven't had a spare 2 hours to watch the show in its entirety. Just have not. And so when we talk
Right.
about this, it's the friends of friends. And then he talked about somebody called him Big Flint to go follow Jedediah. I mean, all this stuff is roguish. I mean, just
These grown people, these leaders,
these
talking
are
about they
grown
pillars
people.
of the.
Yeah.
Oh
Why
my
if
God.
he has at his fingertips the entire police department? And then also because his wife is the state rep, she has the Michigan State Police. But you're asking people who are out of prison, who don't need nothing else. If they do something else, they going back for life and ain't never getting back out for life. And he asking them to go do his bidding. And he said, yeah, we went over. And he says that we went over there, but they didn't show up that time. And then they asked him about the June 1st peaceful protest. Yeah, we were out there. What are you doing? But, and this is slightly, but pay attention to who the mayor has around him. Christopher Martin, Bishop Christopher Martin. We're going to call him by his name. I don't know why he's still a bishop, because all he do was lie, make lying posts, make lying text messages, talks about his congregation. Bishop Christopher Martin.
Wait. Let me say this, Miss Burns. Let me say this, Woman Burns. If you know where I can buy me one of them bishop paperworks and get me a church, y'all send me the paperwork or the link. Forget what she talking about. I want to pass the collection plate around too. And then I'm more qualified because I don't even talk about people that I like or people that support me the way they was. So forget what she talking about. Y'all send me the link so I can buy me a bishop certificate. Okay, go ahead.
So there's another one. So I called Woodson today, Arthur Woodson. And I don't know if he's still on here or not, because I didn't hear this. I called him because I've had some people contact me, and they said, you know what, that's not the, only pastor that is around him that is a problem. I said, well, what do you mean? They said, well, this pastor worked out of school. This pastor sexually assaulted a child. The young lady is grown now. This pastor also sexually harassed a female person at the school. These are the people, and he was fired. He was terminated. So I asked Woodson, I said, hey, did you hear about this? And he said, when I say he filled in all the blanks, I didn't even get to, I said, did you hear about that? He said, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. And he started running everything off. Yeah, I talked about it on my podcast. I was like, oh my God. So here's my thing. You have another pastor who's alleged that's around him that touched a young girl, is being blocked from her even filing her police report. But there's no statute. Yeah.
Donald Trump, huh? Though, and this is the thing. Let me say this while you're saying this. So this man is surrounding himself with sexual predators, not just sexual predators, but sexual predators that prey on children. Okay, this man it ain't nothing he won't do for $1. Anytime you running with somebody that's going around, a grown man having sex with little kids, infecting them with HIV, and you got your goofy ASS standing up there grinning, looking like a D fool, and then running around talking about you don't know them. But yet you at their birthday party.
Yeah, but we're going to get into that. So with these pastors, y'all know Carol going to tell it like it is. So here's my thing, as you were stating, the company you keep really tells about who you are. And I did not know, hey, JWC, Councilwoman Jerry Winfrey Carter. And so I didn't see Woodson's thing. He knew before I even told him. I said, did you hear about another pastor? Oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. And he just named it off. And so you surround, it's like a cult. It's a cult. And it's like this little secret group. And I have a big problem with it. So I do want to finish up before we get too far off. I want to go back to the letter. So with the letter, to tie that part up, I sent a letter to City Attorney Gurley and Clerk Donahue, because they are our official record keeper for the clerk and the city attorney. And so when we talk about the multi-member body, and here we have one, she's acting in the role of a council person by taking complaints, taking calls, stepping to the podium, saying, I can help you to get your house fixed. Call me. And as Michelle said, in the hallway, running over people. I mean, it just, things are happening, and I'm in the 3rd ward. So she's representing in the place, and the mayor did it too, for this illegal position that he created, which violated the Flint City Charter. So I sent the letter, said, greetings, Attorney Gurley, City Clerk Donahue. I am formally requesting that the 3rd Ward ambassador's position be terminated immediately. These positions were created by Mayor Neely with duties to represent the 3rd Ward. Initially, as stated by Mayor Neely, there would be 3 ambassadors for the 3rd Ward. However, 2 were appointed to the position, Linda Booth and LaShawn Johnson. Furthermore, LaShawn Johnson has been given an unfair advantage in an election cycle over 2 other candidates. Also, the mailing of the postcard using city bulk mail with the city seal, the mayor's picture and name, stating in her ambassador position that she is doing a great job, is a clear violation of the city charter state and Michigan's election law. According to the Flint City Charter, this position is a violation of the city charter. Please see as defined in the Flint City Charter and the decision by the Michigan Appeals Court. And then I'll go into what the multi-member body is, and then the conclusion of the Michigan State Appeals Court stating that this was an illegal committee. And in closing, I'm requesting your prompt attention to rectify this serious issue. Thanks in advance. Sincerely, Tanya Burns, 6th Ward Councilman.
Okay, let me say this. Now, Nilly knows what he's doing is illegal, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because this is the same thing he did in the election. I think it may have been maybe Karen Weaver and himself or somebody when he was in Gleason's office, and Gleason got in trouble for that. Yet he's still doing it, and you know why? Because David Layton will not hold him responsible, because the Flint Police Department, because Dana Nessel, because all of them pretend like they don't see what's going on. And Flint still has poison water. We haven't gotten a dollar. It's time to start filing some class action lawsuits. The problem is they know no lawyers want to get involved in this nastiness because they tie up your whole life. They once got Miss Sharice Lee fired from her job when she was assisting us on the school board. And let's not forget, Anita Stewart, who was the superintendent, is some kin to Sheldon Nilly. And Joyce Ellis McNeil told me when she first got on the board, Nilly told her the Flint Community School District was through. This man is well aware that he's destroying the city. That is what he's been sent for. That is his assignment. He doesn't know anything, and he's not trying to find out anything because he's not planning on doing anything but stealing. And he's a master at that because the masters sent him. That's why he deals with pedophiles, thieves, and criminals, okay? That's why we got a state representative that can barely read. I'm just going to say it. They can barely read. It's an embarrassment. However, we are exalting her like she's qualified. However, he is still our mayor, elected twice, even though and this is his second term, and we still do not have pipe restoration completed. Okay, and we still ain't filed. We need to file another lawsuit against him, and we might. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. But I will tell you what this is called: corruption and organized crime. Okay, go ahead.
So, if you want to go to, because when we're talking about multi-member bodies, page 56 of the Flint City Charter, page 56, if you go to it, will speak also in addition to what a multi-member body. So it's Article 6, multi-member bodies, 6-101, page 56, which tells you multi-member bodies, including boards, commissions, and committees, may be established by the city of Flint by ordinance and resolution. If he wanted this ambassadorship, it should have come to us by ordinance and by resolution. Some such bodies may exercise these powers and duties granted by the city of Flint, provided that they do not conflict with provisions of the city law. And so there's a way to do this. This ambassador, I don't know what you call it, ambassadorship, is a multi-member body. They're perpetuating, and they're also doing and acting as if they're in the role of a city council person. They're representing the city. So the charter governs that. So page 5 of the Flint City Charter and page 6, and I want people to know where I'm coming from on it, to let people know. And so when they're in there divvying up $94.7 million, council did not approve no resolution, no ordinance, no nothing for them to represent what to do with your money, $94.7 million, and American Rescue Plan Act funds that he broke the law, violated the charter, created this group of people. It was against the law and a violation of
it.
And the Michigan Appeals Court agreed to it.
He knew it. All the attorneys around here knew it. Kim knew it. Layton knew it. Swanson knew it. The whole city council, that little fake ass ARPA committee with some attorneys sitting on it who helped do his bid know it. Okay, they ain't doing nothing but lying, stealing, and committing fraud. And back to, like I said, you guys know before this mess erupted with Chris Martin, I told y'all that Liddell Lewis is like a wild dog. And ain't no way this woman is going to church, sitting up under nobody. They got a spoonful of God in them. Okay? There is no way in the world you got a decent pastor and you up here making your community go hungry, taking food stamp cards from your neighbor with sick children dying from cancer, refusing to pay them, and then turning them into the state like you ain't broke the law. Councilwoman Liddell Lewis, do you know it's illegal for you to be buying food stamps? Because you always calling Beverly Biggs out. You realize it's illegal when she do it. Why you don't know it's illegal when you do it? You thief, because you a thief and you a criminal. But that's what they brung her here for. And look who brung her. Another thief and another criminal. This is organized crime. These people need to be in jail. And
Did
I'm
you
going
say
to tell you,
Rico? Did you say Rico
oh,
charges?
you know, I've been saying
Racketeering?
Rico when I was on ATN News Media Group running for first ward. When I was on the Ethics and Accountability Board, I told y'all this rise to the level of the RICO Act because you stealing millions and you putting fake boards together and you expunging criminals' records when they clearly got a crime on the book that need to be prosecuted. This man then illegally evicted somebody with an assault weapon, and the court is trying to pretend like they didn't even see that ish. Then he come back with some PPOs and falsified government documents. And they still don't know that this man is a criminal. This man's nickname is Pusher Man. There it is. Look at Pusher Man. Then Pusher Man put a vest on and some glasses, and you suckers run around here and give him your federal dollars. So not only is he in the streets getting money, he at your board tables and your local government tables making decisions to lace his pockets. He pimping this community out. And guess who supported him in the election? Chris Martin. Okay? And listen to what that lady said Chris Martin was involved in. That lady went to his church for 14 years. You think she don't know what he about? Did y'all hear that woman? That woman is upset. That woman is deeply wounded. That ain't
So let's
nobody
don't
just
go all. Hold on, Care. Hold on, because I
oh,
want to
okay,
get
go ahead.
to.
Cause you know.
Yeah,
Okay, cause
I
you know
know.
I go all the way.
I know.
Go
So we're
ahead.
gonna get to her, but I want to
Okay.
go to so this third ward. So if you can
Go
put up,
ahead.
so the mayor sent out. Now we know that this ambassador. Thank you, producer Jay. You want to y'all look donate to the click like share this broadcast. That's free. But if you have it in your heart, drop producer Jay something because he gonna be working this week. Told you I got a lot of information to get out, and y'all know with Carol we gonna get this done. So the
Can I
third
say
ward
something
resident,
1 minute?
yeah, go ahead. You got the flow.
Carol McIntosh is eating they asses up.
Cooking. Let
Clock that T. Clock that T on them. I'm going to clock that T on them.
so we now know that multi-member body is any group of more than one. So M Live wrote an article. Ron Fonger actually did a good article about this, which stated in the article that the mayor used, I think the title in this that he used was that the mayor used the stamp, the city stamp or whatever for the postage meter to, hold on, y'all. Y'all know, oh, hold on. Mayor used city postage permit to promote work of a city council candidate. That was M Live Flint Journal. Stated mayor used city postage permit to promote work of city council candidate. Now I need y'all to share this out because y'all got us working, and I done did this is two
Drina.
shows back to back. So on the postcards, Carolyn got her glasses, so I'm gonna have to read it. So on the postcard, which was
I
mailed
think
out,
I can read it. You want me to read it?
yeah, so it's got the
Okay.
city seal and it has the mayor's photo on it and his yeah, Carol, have a shot at it.
Okay. And it simply states, Dear Third Ward residents, I am writing to check in on you to see how you are doing. Never mind you needed your ARPA funds. I'm going to let it rain on your head, but I know it's been too long since you've had someone on city council to represent you in your issues. I just want to remind you that I have appointed LaShawn Johnson, Hot Pocket Queen for the Third Ward, to be an ambassador for the third ward and advocate for you while she's advocating for herself and him too. We try to fill the vacancy. She is doing a great job knocking on doors and promoting for herself and buying votes for herself. And you can reach her at her phone number, which we're not going to say out loud because we're not going to promote her. And she was over there when she was getting her house done at the Hilton, acting like she was the Queen of Sheba. If you have any issues that need our
Okay, look, her internet froze.
office at A10. Now this is
Start over.
okay. From the top.
No, halfway down because your thing froze.
Oh no, somebody was calling. I'm sorry. Okay,
Oh.
so she is doing a great job, and you can reach her at her phone number that we're not going to promote. If you have any issues that need our attention, or you can always contact my office at 810-237-2041, even though he's not going to call you back. Okay? Now, if you are going to sell your vote, you might be able to get something done. So call his office and tell them you're in the kickback, you're interested in the kickback hot pocket pimp program, and they might hook you up. Tell them you're interested in lying, cheating, and stealing, and they'll probably let you on the team. Now, the only problem with that is we gonna come for you too, and when they go to jail, we gonna throw you in the pot and let them know you was in on it, because he think he ain't going to jail. Here's the problem: eventually he gonna have to account for some of that money. Look at Mr. Lemonhead. You're not gonna steal them folks' money and don't tell them what you did with their money. Now he got some folks helping him. So he thinking they gonna get their little key. But the problem is there's too much money missing because all of the ARPA funds over there at the Flint Community School has been spent up. It didn't cost that much to do Brownell and Holmes. Okay, they don't have any new furniture. The same attorney that was working on the school district is working with the Ethics and Accountability Board. It is a reason, and that is because he is a master at stealing. Okay. That is why your school district is on its knuckles now. Let's be clear. And when I was on the school board, uh, I'm just gonna be honest. Linda Booz was a big letdown because she went along with all that was not in line with what it was supposed to be. But she talked real soft, and then she quit the Ethics and Accountability Board. And then after she quit, Mr. Joe King allowed her to just waltz her way back on, knowing that she quit, but he wouldn't let Miss Linda Thompson come back on. That's why I'm glad he got what he got with his information all out in the street. Mr. Joe King ought to be ashamed of himself. Same thing. Mr. Joe King also used to sit on um the people to get the houses. Michigan, who get them houses, Tanya, when you land bank. Mr. Joe King also sat on the land bank board, never helping any black people, and all the houses getting away to people outside of the state. Okay, big wigs buying up our blocks for little or nothing, but you can't get nothing. But they want you to cut the grass for free though. Oh, and can you keep it boarded up for them? Oh, but you can't afford to own the property. They got some, and it's also been rumored that some of our local politicians around here, the reason they won't do their jobs is because they're buying properties from the land bank. Okay, their names have been dropped, and I'm gonna do some more investigating because some of them are running for political office coming up. And I'm gonna be honest, anybody who does anything in the city of Flint and you running for something, and I ain't seen you show up for the people, you can't get my support. Swanson, you can't get my support. Okay. Go ahead. I'm
So,
sorry, because you know I go to the
so
left.
you're gonna have to. Okay, Councilwoman Jerry Carter wrote a letter, and you're gonna have to make that much bigger. I'm gonna have to go to her page to get it to read it. Now, come on, that is like the smallest font there is. I have to be up against the screen to see that. I don't even think Carol can read that.
Well, let me see. I'm gonna try because you're right. I ain't got my glasses.
You know, you got them funny eyes because I can see
Look,
that perfectly.
look.
You got them younger eyes.
You
So
might got your glasses on. It say, "Attention, Third Ward residents, wake up and pay attention. The blue postcard you received from the mayor is nothing short of a manipulative taxpayer-funded campaign stunt to
you want me to read
boastfully
it,
shine."
Carol?
Yeah, because I can't see that. It's
Okay,
too.
yeah, I got it. I got
Can
it
I
up.
blow it up? Oh, I could blow it up. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I could blow it up though if
It
you
says the
want me
blue
to.
postcard you received from the mayor is nothing short of a manipulative taxpayer-funded campaign stunt to boost LaShawn Johnson. The same person who lost in the primary is now trying to sneak her way back in as a write-in candidate for the August election. This is about checking in on residents. This is not about checking in on residents. This is about political power and control, period. Mayor Sheldon Neely is abusing the power of his office to push his personal agenda. He used city funds and resources to mail out a glossy endorsement for his hand-picked puppet because he's desperate for that fifth vote on city council. He does not want someone who will fight for the people. He does not want someone who will, he wants someone, Lord, I can blow this up. He wants someone who will vote on how he tells them to. That is why
Yep.
he's parading LaShawn Johnson around at every community event and press conference like she's already on council. It's
Yep.
sickening, exclamation mark.
Yep.
And let's not overlook the fact that he did not even include the contact information for Linda Booz, the other ambassador he appointed for the third ward. That's because this mailer was never about informing or supporting residents. It was
Nah.
strictly about elevating his chosen one and setting the stage for his political play. For the
Right.
mayor to use taxpayer funds and city resources to campaign and endorse a candidate for the city council is not only unethical, it is clear campaign violation. He is misusing public dollars and the power of his office to interfere in this election. That is unacceptable and it should alarm every single voter in this city. Please understand, this is about control, not leadership. And
That's
LaShawn
right.
Johnson has already proven that she's willing to be a loyal rubber stamp in exchange for the mayor's support. Don't be fooled by the postcard. Don't fall for the photo ops. And don't let the mayor manipulate you and insult your intelligence with this slick backdoor campaigning. This is shameful abuse. This is a shameful abuse of power and it reeks of political corruption, all being paid with your money. This
Yep.
is the kind of shady politics that keeps Flint stuck. And we're supposed to just accept it? Absolutely not. Flint deserves better. The third ward deserves real representation, not another political puppet. Stay woke, stay informed, and vote wisely. It's only two people on the ballot.
Okay, now let me say this. Let me say this too. And let's be clear. What LaShawn is doing is the exact same play that Rose Morrow laid down. This is how you know Rose Morrow is working for Nelly. And that little spot, that little corner up there on Holmes and Mott that she worked on all summer long last year. You can ride down the street 24/7. She out there digging up dandelions with a plastic fork. It looked like hell now. All of a sudden, it's July. They talking about she been sick all summer now. No, she done got found out to be what she is. And like I said, LaShawn is laying down the same play that Rose Morrow laid down. Like Miss Burns said, it's only two people on the ballot. It's only two people disqualified. First of all, LaShawn can barely make a sentence. Okay? And Leon can't make a sentence. That's why he don't never talk. Okay? That you sitting up here voting for people. And Cynthia Neely can't hardly make a sentence. She came and spoke over at Local 659. They had a Black History program when she was running for state rep. I had never been so embarrassed to be a Black woman in my life. That girl can barely talk. And then these is who y'all want to represent you? Because if a person can't even express themselves and make a sentence, how are they going to read legislation, decipher through that, and then apply it to your situation and turn it into a benefit for your community? First of all, you got to, if you slow, you should be at every meeting. This lady don't even come to the meetings. Her or Leon. Leon made an ass out of the first ward in Flint. And then I hear some of his supporters now, one of them that ran around, she supported every person in the first ward race. Now she run around talking about Leon need to be recalled. No, you need to sit down and shut up and stop influencing people to hell. That's what needs to happen. All these people that are emotionally immature, mentally incapable of comprehending, put yourself aside for the bigger cause. Don't sink the ship because you can't be the captain. If you can't read a compass, how the hell you gonna drive the ship? We gotta know where we going, fool. Jesus Christ. Anyway, this is why we're here. Because it's to the point where we're electing people that can't even speak. Okay? You need somebody. How is somebody going to speak up for you if they can't even express themselves? How are they going to express the needs of a community or a hurting individual who is being legislatively left out? How are they going to navigate for you? They doing what they can do. And what they're doing is what somebody else has told them to do. Somebody else has told them how to steal and told them this process. That's why they only play that hand. Because that's the only hand they've been dealt, and that's the only hand they know how to play. And if they don't know how to play it, they get some help to help them play that, but they don't get them no help to help them legislate for you because you are not important. So we can keep letting them divide us as a community. You can keep letting them pull all these people that don't even live in your community. Like they talking about Mott. It's a mess over there. They say half of the people on them boards don't live in Flint. They say all the minority administrators that have helped destroy this community, helped destroy the Flint Community School District on behalf of Mott, is now being forced up out of there and discriminated against and mistreated because that's what this machine does. After they use people like us, and trust, they don't respect you when they see you go against your own in your community. Because notice, no matter how much they hate each other, they don't tell on each other and go against each other for outsiders. See, that's why
Producer
we
Jay.
lose
Well,
because
he
we don't
popped
have
out.
that much sense. So anyway, yeah, all of that, all of that. But I'm so mad about the whole situation because, like I said, when is the law going to show up? Clearly, we have several violations of the law,
Hold on,
many
Carol.
of violations.
Here, hold on a second.
I,
Producer Jay.
I just wanted Carol to address some of the great members of the Tanya Burns chat said that LaShawn Johnson needed to get off that school bus and go into that school with them kids and learn how to read.
Oh, the chat. Huh? We need everybody. Look, y'all hit
Wait,
that like
somebody
button.
read the chat, read
We
it because
don't
they
even
be
have
what.
100 likes on here. Hit that like button. Hit the heart. Hit the like button. Help to push this out because this was something extraordinary today. This is a case that Councilman Mays, unfortunately, to his untimely passing, wasn't able to see this to flourishing. Hit that like button for Councilman Mays
And
because this is
share, click
something
like, share.
he get click like and hit the notification. He wanted this and was so passionate about this, and it's hard when you don't have people who are like-minded. He wanted this to happen.
Yes,
He did not.
and he wanted home. He wanted
Just
home ownership too. He wanted home
absolutely.
ownership for our residents.
So hit that. If we got however many people are on here, if everybody hit it, 165 watching. Even the haters, hit that like button. Hit the like button. So hit the like button even for the haters.
The haters can
Okay,
hit the
Carol.
like
Yeah,
button. The haters
because
can
we
hit
know
the
you
like button.
watching.
We won't even know that they hit it. We
And
won't
can
even
I
know
say
Right.
they
Look,
are.
something?
we don't know if y'all hit it. Hit it in memory of Councilman Mays. Hit that
Yeah,
like button in memory of
yeah.
Councilman Mays, who was fighting for the residents, fighting for people in poverty, fighting for people who have blue tarps in their roofs. And this is how we literally, because this ARPA committee was saying, we only gonna give 1 million, we only gonna give 500,000, because they didn't want to give the people
We can
any
we can't we can't
nothing.
give out the money because they might fix up their houses and stay, and then we
But
can't
look
push
how
them out
LaShawn house
and
is. And I'm
and,
gonna tell
and
you,
get
it's
their house.
nice.
Yeah, we can't push them out, get their house for little or nothing, and then fix it up and give it to our cousins for free because we done made a fool out of these suckers. And we can't steal and build our house on the lake and fin if we give them all the money that the government has allocated for them. We gotta have something to steal for ourselves. That's what your city council. That's what Leon, Ladell, Candace, and Judy, and the Neelys, that's their conversation. You can't get all your money because they gotta have some for their campaign. They gotta have some for their house. They gotta have some for their new Cadillac. They gotta put some windows on their house. Councilwoman Liddell Lewis offered to pay Councilwoman Tanya Burns' water bill, so I guess she gotta do that. Hey, they gotta pay for
No,
Johnny
and
Good.
I'm going to accept it. I didn't say it. Look, don't ever turn down anybody who paying my water bill.
Don't
Okay,
you take
and I'm
that
gonna give,
money, girl. They
and I'm
need
gonna
to
go.
have you
They
locked
don't come
up.
to me. It go right to the service center. I ain't gotta take it. You can go there, drop that payment. Y'all don't need my permission to do it. They didn't want let whoever, but she might need to pay hers first because she has a back balance of about $1,900 now.
She ain't
Okay,
gotta pay
she
hers.
got two
Sheldon Liver
bills.
gonna make hers
She
disappear.
got two bills on there. So listen, I ain't stealing. I ain't got no new driveway. Could use one. She got a new cement driveway. She also has a new privacy fence. She also has new landscaping. So I wouldn't be bragging when you took $75,000, refused to feed your community. You voted down St. Mark's not once, twice,
And then
three,
sent the
four,
money to
five
Grand Rapids.
times no on getting them the money to feed the community. That's in her ward. So look,
But then
Tanya
getting
Burns.
the but then when Pastor Thompson get it off the ground and start giving out food, then she get her big back in the
Running
line and
that
sit up there
line.
and get some freebies. That
Wait,
that's
was she
the
in the line
nerve of her.
today?
And I told y'all a long time ago when this woman was conducting herself like that her pastor was a demon. Ain't no way that woman showing up to church, sitting under nobody saved, and come back to them council meetings and treat uh people that are abused and broken the way she do. The way she treated the Mitchell's boys' mama when they lost their life, I knew her pastor was a demon. Okay, I'm gonna say it. Anytime, and let me say this. I have family that are members of the Church of God in Christ. Okay. I have family that are pastors. Okay. Several pastors in my family for several generations. I'm deep rooted in church. Okay. Let me tell you something about the church and the pastor when they respect you. Okay. Let me tell you about my auntie and my uncle. They respected their congregation and work hard for the church and for God. Numero uno. When the pastor respect the members in the congregation and his kids get to talking about the congregation, my uncle and my auntie tell them, you not gonna talk about them. They family and don't let me hear it no more. They wouldn't even let their kids talk about the congregation. So if they had something to say about a member of the church, they definitely wasn't gonna say it in front of their kids. And to show you how out of order he is with God, they sleep together every night, should be they married or at least living in the same household. You gonna tell me that they ain't got enough sense? This how you know they slow. You ain't got enough sense to go home as a couple and say those things behind closed doors to only one another. And I'm gonna tell you why they ain't got that much sense. Because they don't have no respect for the people in the congregation. Because it's called pulpit pimping. When you really love your congregation and care about God's people, you don't allow your children to talk about them. You don't mistreat them. You don't abuse them. That is why the church is empty, because all of the people that are hurt or wounded that really need the Lord can't go to church without the so-called saved people and these old propped up bishops and things and these old first ladies that tear the community down and then cheat on their husband and leave town, April, whatever your name is. But uh anyway, you don't treat your church like that when you really love the Lord and when you really working for God. Ain't no way, because they weren't just talking about one person. They weren't just talking about two people. They weren't just talking about three people. They were talking about people from Flint to Saginaw, 2 and 3 and 4 families and everything else, calling people fags and hoes. And that ain't how saved people conduct themselves on a family, in a family chat. People with that are not mentally ill, they talk about family stuff, like who planning the family reunion, where we going to dinner at, did you get into that program? To be sitting up dragging your congregation like that, okay? I ain't shocked though. I'm gonna let you know. I ain't surprised
I
because
wouldn't be
this is the same.
surprised either at all.
This is the same man who also, when I had to have a performance hearing for Anita Stewart when she was refusing to do her job over at the Flint Community School District, and she insisted she was going to have an open hearing. Guess who showed up? Chris Martin, pissed off because somebody was holding her responsible to do her job to get her check. But Chris Martin also was on the school board. Chris Martin also got Gundry School for $15,000. Chris Martin also set that deal up for himself and then stepped down off the school board. And guess who also was on there with him? The philanthropist of the community, Isaiah Oliver. And while they were on the Flint Community School Board, the Cyrus Center got away from us, Gundry School got away from us, and a whole bunch of more stuff got away from us. But guess what? He came up. Okay? He came up. Now, I don't know. That ain't how God works.
So we're
Now, that
going to
ain't
move
how God
on.
works.
We're going to go on
Move
to,
on.
there was a court case with John Cole.
Oh, yeah.
So
Get on him, too. Get back on
I
him.
know that you
Because they always hanging out. They always hanging out.
they were. So
But let me
producer
say
said,
this to Sheena too. Sheena gonna talk about some God be a magnifying glass for the sister. Ha ha, Sheena, that was funny. I sure could use a magnifying glass, girl.
so one of the case with John Cole, formerly known as Johnny D. Peters, he was this, and it made the New York Post. So a sex offender allegedly groomed, raped an infected boy, 15, with HIV, and leave that up. So they went to court, was it a week and a half ago? And he had been in prison before for, I believe it was over 40 men or women or people that he had slept with and did not inform them that he had HIV. So he went to prison, I believe, for 10 years. He was out, and not even a
That's
year,
all.
he reoffended again. So in court, there was a lot that was learned. There was another 15-year-old boy who he had groomed. This one did not get HIV. He was in the courtroom. This young man, one did have HIV, which for the rest of his life, because there is no cure, he will live with this. The other one did not get it, but he had videos, and they spoke about it in court, of him having anal sex with the boy. And if you have children, this is in the records, and the boy giving him oral sex. This other boy is 15. They talked about where they took the little boys to, where were they having sex, how he groomed them, where they met him. And one of the places where he met him and took him to was with one of Mayor Neely's parties. And so John Cole was a campaign worker. He worked on Mayor Neely's campaign. He wore Mayor Neely's attire, shirt, hat, posted it. He used the influence for Mayor Neely to bring in these young boys because it gave him status in the community. He used Mayor Neely for status. Mayor Neely
let him. And he let him. And he let him.
And he had to have known that he was prior convicted of these sex crimes. I call John Cole a criminal sexual deviant predator, because he knows who to prey on. He's a predator. So this is him holding up a little box of popcorn with Mayor Neely's tag on. Boys and girls, you want some popcorn, little kitty?
I got what you need. Come
right.
And get it.
And with his Mayor Neely t-shirt. Here he's posing in his Mayor Neely hat. I guess this was his sexy pose. So
local government
support. Hold on, Carol. He had sex with this last time nine people. Did not tell them he had HIV. So that he is going to be sentenced on the 21st. And residents, you need to pack that courtroom so this criminal sexual deviant predator never sees the light of day. The minimum is 12 years. The maximum is with the judge. And we need to pack this courtroom.
When is this, Tanya? When is it?
I think the 21st. I will post it up on my page. So one of the people who shared it, Tanya Jones' son, he slept with it, or he did things with him too. And Tanya Jones' son has an opioid problem, and she's an advocate for her son. But when we say this is serious. That other 15-year-old who had to sit in that courtroom, they brought this criminal, sexual, deviant predator into the courtroom, he had to tell very embarrassing things. So this is some of the pictures. You see him and Mayor Neely, both in their tuxedos. You see Mayor Neely, Cynthia Neely, State Rep Cynthia Neely, and you hear
Hugged
Johnny
up.
Cole in there. You see him to the right. You see him down here in his guard. It's a problem when these people. I don't have sexual predators in my circle or triangle. If you did some prior stuff, you're not gonna be with me. My mama didn't let me hang with fast tail girls, and so we grew up knowing you couldn't just do everything you wanted to do.
Hell
That
no.
wasn't gonna happen.
Mm.
And
Let me
so,
say let me
producer
say
Jason,
this
to
too.
the next.
Go ahead.
I think he's gonna filter through.
Oh, I
So
also want to say that this not
go ahead.
just a sexual predator. This is a child molester.
Lester.
Okay,
Say it again.
It's one thing to have sex with a consenting adult and do them wrong. Okay, that's and it's still wrong. But these are people that cannot even give you their consent because they're children. And then I'm gonna say this, and he was taking these children to Claudia Perkins' house on
Oh,
the
hold
Flint
on. Can you
Community
wait a minute? Wait
School.
a minute. He got a picture. Who's all in this picture? Can you blow that up? Because I can't.
I can't. Let me see. Let me see if I could. Let me see if I could.
Producer Jay,
Let
you
me
can
see.
take us off and blow it up. Is that as big as it goes? So I forgot about. So now remember, we talked about Rodney Porter was
Okay.
telling us how you got the nonprofits. Remember, nonprofit was the hustle. He said on there too, an interview with Winters. Well, if you need a hookup, my girl can plug you in. Cost me
Yeah.
450, you got it, and da da da. So John Cole, formerly Johnny Peters, keep that big on there. Don't take us off. Keep that big. I want people to see this.
I'm working on something. Give me a
Okay.
second.
So he created and had a nonprofit. He was down to burst and was on this TV thing. And so what he did, and I remember watching on this podcast that he had. He was sitting there with one of the boys, and this is before we even knew. And I was like, oh my God, this, the body language. The kid was kind of like, he was like, well, come on over here. Come closer. Come closer. And my intuition was, he messing with that boy. Immediately, and I said it out loud. Thank you. Thank you for blowing that up. So who do we
Look
have
at
here
him
in this
cheating.
picture? So
And
he's
Tanya, let
got,
me say this. Let
hold
me
on,
say
hold
this
on.
too.
Carol, hold
Go
on,
ahead.
let me finish. Just give me a minute. So you see them here. They had this radio show. They have these little kidsy color t-shirts. And you have
Yeah.
them here with this Coats for Kids nonprofit, which his nonprofit, he was telling people he was going to get some ARPA funds too. Okay. So in this picture, we're going to hold on. I'm going to let you go. We're going to tell you who in the picture. Y'all can see, but look at the picture. Go ahead, Carol.
Now, what I want to say is, and see, he can sit up and try to pretend like he wasn't aware that this man was a predator. You are a liar. You are not the mayor of a city. And don't nobody care for you. Everybody that deals with this, listen, everybody that fools with Sheldon Nelly that be running around acting like they don't know that he's corrupt, they part of the corruption with him. They not fooled, okay? These people ain't fooled. They in on it. So I said that to say this. This man did not hang out with this sexual predator and did not have his background. Okay? He embraced this sexual predator. He enabled this sexual predator. He allowed this predator to work different events for him that he knew children would be at. Okay? There is no way in the world a leader of a community should be embracing a sexual child predator that is, and it's not. It'll be different if he was HIV positive to no fault of his own or whatever, because we know some people get bad situations, a bad shake. This man is out here some kind of way contracted HIV and decided not only is he going to pass it to adults that are willing recipients to receive whatever kind of sexual situations from him, he targeted children. He lured children. He worked children's events with the mayor. He used these people's positions to get leverage on children that ended up at Claudia Perkins' house that is on the school board. And this is where he were taking some of these children to have sex with them. She claims this man for a son. However, after this man caught these cases, he still was allowed to come to school board meetings on school property where predators are not supposed to be, and spoke on the open mic in front of the mayor and Claudia Perkins, who is now a school board member, who knew he had a case and he had been molesting children at her home. And he was coming to these school board meetings to support her. And she also, when she got on the board, put up the school Flint Community School District logo and behind her picture, talking about she's selling dinners out her house. Listen, these people here for one thing, and that's to get paid. That's to lace their pockets. They could care less about you. They could care less about the HIV that he's spreading through your community. Okay? They could care less about this little boy is going to be infected and need medicine till the day he die. Okay? This mayor has went for self in so many
So,
different ways.
so
Go
in the
ahead, Tony.
picture, so we're gonna go from right to left. You have Johnny D. Peters, who was first accused and sentenced and spent time in prison for sleeping with over 40 plus people and not stating to them that he had HIV. That's him with the red hot pants and the yellow shirt. Next to him
I
is
think.
Tommy. Is Tommy. Tommy works for City Hall. She's the mayor's secretary. That's who he's hugging, is Tommy, the mayor's secretary. The next one is Lakeisha Turow. She's in a lot of pictures with him. No one hears from her anymore. She would say, I'm the only Lakeisha on the ballot. Next to her was Claudia Perkins. Next to Claudia is Mayor Neely. And next to Mayor Neely is State Representative Cynthia Neely. And you will see all these peoples in pictures together. This man was doing criminal activity, taking up signs, stealing people's signs. He's sleeping with kids. Did anybody not freaking know? Just me watching the movie, and watching that program. And so when you look at these people, you have two elected officials, two officials running, and the mayor's personal secretary. And they're chummy with a criminal sexual predator, deviant, dash child molester. Because that's who they were budding on in all kind of pictures. Where is their lack of discernment? Where is their judgment? They thought this was okay. Why? Because he was willing to do the dirty work that, in my opinion, the mayor needed done. Them signs
Yeah,
in his truck with
yeah,
Mayor Karen Weaver's, he got Mayor Karen Weaver's sign in the back of the
yeah,
truck. I'd like to see,
yeah.
because he took a plea. What is on Johnny Peters' cell phone? What conversations did he have and text with Mayor Neely and Mayor Neely's confidants? I would like to see that, because you'll see them in all kind of pictures. Now, they are wearing a kitty t-shirt on here. I don't know the other two on the end. But this is a program that he didn't wiggle his way into. Why? Because he's able to use the influence of the mayor and able to use the state reps' influence and the mayor's influence. And he used the state reps' status and the mayor's status to get his nasty little trifling child pedophile behind, but into a group to where they legitimized him. He became legitimized by hanging with them. You have
Yep.
to watch what we do with this and how this happens, because it couldn't have been mine. It couldn't have been, because what was done, and these children, you had 9 people, and I don't know how many more. It was 9 that in this case so far. And you have 15-year-old boys that he done screwed them up, messing up their sexuality, turning these kids out. He turning these 15-year-olds out with his
It's called
nasty
grooming.
behind, using the influence of these elected officials that I will never forgive, because they allowed him to do the dirty work. And y'all think y'all shouldn't be held accountable? You shouldn't be held accountable? You palled around with them, let them do all this. You are terrible decision makers. When you let this predator sexual deviant around people and legitimized him, who was morally bankrupt, shame is not enough, because those kids will live with HIV and the other people for the rest of their lives. There is no cure. So can we scroll through the next picture?
And I also want to make another correlation to the city and the school board, because when the situation happened between Danielle Green and Laura McIntyre, Danielle Green was not even coming to school board meetings, yet the city offered up a police officer to be at all of our meetings. Laura McIntyre was not an officer. She had me put out of a meeting, had sick this police officer on me. Without a vote, they put me out of the meeting. This is the same thing that Candace and Liddell does when council people can't whoop them in line. They make the police throw them out illegally. So this stuff that's happening on these different boards, they're all in cahoots together, and that's why they're all stagnant and nothing happens on boards unless you have the big machines, the people that benefit all the time. That's why they can get things done. Because if you, and I want to also talk about, well, I won't jump off subject, but also with that bulldozing situation, I did hear they did drive the bulldozer down the street, but there's nobody from the hood that's gonna have the skill level to drive a bulldozer down a dark street with no lights on and bulldoze two buildings. That is no benefit to people in the hood, and they tend to commit crimes that benefit them financially. So we already know that was the establishment moving forward. But go ahead, Miss Burns.
So this is a group of people who partied together, played together, and they enjoyed each other's company. You see in many photos, and there's tons of photos they tried to erase all of them. He also had an Instagram account. There was little videos. He used videos. He lured children in with Xboxes cash, telling them, you know what you got to do for this. Showing them cash and games. Kids who couldn't afford those type of things. He earned income clearly from working for the mayor. And I know from working with the mayor on his campaign, he paid people in cash for their campaign. He pays them in cash. That is a fact. So he may not have received the check, but he pays them in cash. He was flashing cash to these young men. And some of those pictures were out there on Instagram. They didn't take that stuff down, and you had them flashing. And you know what you got to do for this? You got to live up to your part. Now, at what point did your spirit of discernment, when all these crosses Mayor Neely wear, and it didn't cross his mind that this was a nasty, trifling, criminal, sexual, deviant predator that liked to molest little boys? All them crosses he wears.
It crossed his mind. He don't care nothing about no little boys. He worried about himself. He know what that man was doing, and he know he was accused of. But he needed somebody riding around Flint taking down election signs. Okay, and he had this
And
little
that,
old,
and that happened. And it was
and
in
he
the
had
back
this
of that truck.
yeah, and he had this little old infected predator, okay, and not so much because he's infected, because it can happen to anybody, a blood transfusion or whatever. But he a predator. I'm not gonna be nice about it. He around here screwing little boys, going up in little
Turning them
children,
out.
and this is the worst part about it. This nasty, and he ugly as hell with his filthy self. God forgive me, because I'm mad at him. But then your low lifted ass, you a grown man, you too trifling to even wear bad enough you're raping kids. Bad
Yeah.
enough you're grooming children. Bad enough you a predator. You too damn and you get money from the mayor. Illegal money. Plenty of it. And you couldn't buy no condoms. That's why he need the electric chair. That's why he needed. It's sad what we let our local government get away with. That's all I got to say. Go ahead, Ms. Burns.
No, one thing I don't tolerate, have absolutely nothing to care about, is a nasty bastard that molests kids. I could care what, I don't care if they pluck the fingers off one by one. I don't care if they watch them bleed. I could care less, because when you take a child's life, that stuff goes for generations. Because what if this child has a child and they carry that over, that mental abuse, that sexual abuse on over. Children don't get
Okay.
over that. I could care
Wait a
less.
minute.
They can hang him upside by his eyebrows. I could care less. He abused children. Zero sympathy here for me. I could give a damn what happens to him.
And they need to ask Claudia Perkins, what did she know while you was letting him bring little boys to your house and do the unthinkable? Claudia, you didn't know that he was a pedophile and a predator and he was being charged when you had him speaking on your behalf up at the school, up at Scott School,
Well,
talking
he
about he
also was
left
friends
you.
with Liddell and Eva. He was coming there speaking at the podium. There's a video of it. He was up there
Well, well,
speaking with them,
Well,
and
my
them was
well,
his
my
buddy.
issue is this. My issue is this. It's one thing for him to support somebody. That's his right. Okay, okay. But his ass wasn't supposed to be up at no school and you've been accused of having sex with a minor and you got charges on you. Usually they can't be at no school and you around here uh laying meat to the little children. Okay? Usually if you have sex with kids, you can't go around no school because we already know you're up there trying to have sex with kids and bringing goodie bags and Xboxes and trick or treat candy and shit. You little nasty pervert, little pathetic. Oh, I'm so mad, Lord, in the name of Jesus. Okay,
No,
move on, Miss
well, look,
Brown.
look, but between us, look, here they are at another party. State Rep Cynthia Neely, Mayor Neely, and the criminal sexual deviant predator child molester. And this is another party. You know, they're having a good time. They're partying together.
And you paying for that. How much was them they was having random food brung? How much was them food bills? $1,300 and
No,
for
this one was separate.
yeah,
This
but I'm
was
just saying this is how they party. So they having these different events and they having goodies brought in and they paying people off all to F us over, all with our money. All with our money. This is our money.
that part. So listen, one thing you will get, me and Carol are on this, and we can continue to go. And I have listen. I couldn't say if how I would react. I would be in prison if that had happened to one
Yes.
of my
It
children.
couldn't
I
have
would
been
be.
mine, baby, because I'd have put a couple of them shop checks on his ass, okay? Excuse my French, but I tell you what, would nobody else's child have to worry? Okay, if he did even make it to jail, he wouldn't have wanted to use nothing below his waist, okay?
Producer Jay.
I guess my question is how is he only facing 12 years?
That's his minimum, and that doesn't include his maximum. So his sentencing will be, I believe, the 21st or the 20th, one of them. And Flint needs to pack that courtroom. We know
And
that when we show up, it makes a difference. And I'm going to tell you why. Because even when I had my case, the judge asked, he was like, "Oh, okay, judge, because it's so, oh, all these people are here. Are you in the wrong courtroom?" And my attorney turned around and said, Attorney Terry Johnson and James Mikowski said, no, no, Your Honor. These people are here to support Councilwoman Tanya Burns. And so it makes them I think, pay attention. When you put eyes on people, put
mhm,
eyes on the situation, it makes a difference. So we need to show up so this nasty little bastard don't ever get back out again to do anything.
mhm.
I don't care. He needs to die in prison. Okay? He needs to die there. He does not ever need to come. You got elected officials who should be protecting children, and they partying with this little nasty predator,
They
criminal
sitting up there. What's
sexual
that?
deviant predator. They
Johnny, we got
partying with,
something for you.
they're supposed to protect the children.
Johnny, you stole them signs. We got a couple of PlayStations for you so you can have you a good evening. Show Nilly ought to be shaming himself. I'm telling you, all of them should be shamed, okay?
Elected officials should be protecting children, not being able to use your influence to bring harm, using your status to legitimize someone who was a criminal. As he groomed these young men, he had anal sex, they gave him oral sex, and he abused and molested these children. I don't give a damn. That is the no, no, no. You can't apologize. No, No, go
Ain't
straight
no
to hell with
apologizing.
gasoline draws
You
on
can't take
and give
that
me
back.
gasoline and I will light that. No, no. And they
Mm-hmm.
allowed him to use their
All of them.
influence. They allowed him to use his influence. So we're gonna move on and let's say a prayer for the young people, the people that the additional 9 that he infected. We need to say a prayer for them. And so because they're gonna live with that for the rest of their life, unfortunately, because there is no cure. So I want to go on to, did we find Bishop Christopher Martin's apology?
Mm,
Did
mm,
we have that
mm.
video?
Before we
I'm
even play
sorry
it.
that
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry for what I've said
Okay.
carelessly because it has hurt
So
people.
hold on. Let's stop it. Pause it.
Never mind.
So Bishop Christopher Martin, after the text messages were released to the world, and they kept going, and people were putting them out. Bishop Christopher Martin of Cathedral of Faith Church made an apology. Now, here's the caveat. All the people he needed to apologize to, he had blocked. They were blocked.
Because he ain't sorry.
That part. That part. He's not sorry. And so when we talk about that, you know, as a matter of fact, he owes me and Jerry Winfrey Carter an apology for lying on us when he made a lying post on his Facebook page. And Bishop Shear needs to remove him because he needs to sit down for a while so he can become familiar and associate himself with the truth and to not lie. So in this family group chat, I guess the ex-girlfriend had screenshots and she started putting them up. And so he was hurting people's feelings. He called people disrespectful words due to their sexuality. He called people whores. He talked about people's stat. He was really grimy with these. And it was
So
in a group
Tanya,
family chat.
Tanya,
Yes.
now do you remember? Now this about it. Ain't this the second time he done been making derogatory comments about people's sexuality? Because didn't Church of God in Christ rebuke him once before when he called that one pastor all kind of punks and fags and they got on his tail? Do you
Um,
recall that?
now he made a remark about a pastor where there is a recording. He made the recording um, and I played the recording at city council because he was trying to get appointed to city council I'm not city council, but to the Hurley board. I'm like, you don't even like the LGBTQ plus community. So, how you going to serve on Hurley board? And you have to be a caring person. I've always been clear. I never liked him. I never wavered in that. Never liked him. You could see it on him. I never liked him. Never spent time. It was something about it. And look, and I wasn't wrong. So yes, there is a video, and I'll see if I can find that while we're listening to. Before he plays the video, do you want to set this up or say something, Carol, before he plays the video of
Um,
the apology?
at Jessica Stewart. You might be on to something, baby, because he spends a lot of. First of all, I have a problem with people that spend all of their time worried about who somebody else is doing, especially a man that is a bishop. When you are a bishop, when you are over a church, okay, and you're in charge of changing lives or turning lives around or standing in the gap for people or having stewardship over people's spiritual life, then there's gonna be all kinds of people from all walks of life coming to you if you are sincere. The disciples were not all perfect, okay? They were an array of different characters who had joined up to support Jesus and was attempting to change their lives and try and do the right thing. So my point is this man cannot call, in my opinion, how are you calling yourself a bishop when you don't have the capacity, the mental oomph or fortitude to accept people and meet people where they are? Because the bottom line is this: you have to catch your fish before you can clean your fish. And how are you going to change lives when you spending all your time trying to big me, little you, the congregation, and talk down on people that need you to help fight those demons, stand in the gap for them, intercede for them, and pray that thing off of them. How can they get a breakthrough when they're weak and their leader is a dog and probably ain't even prayed for him because he's too interested in pimping them out? And if you sitting up being gay or whatever, you got to give your lover your money and you can't give it to me. He is petty as some of these Negroes in the street. Okay? He is
Well,
petty as some of
they
these
say
folks
in the world.
in
Well,
the
let's
street.
play
Well,
the video. Let's play the
not
video.
even in the world, the street. Yeah, that's street behavior.
Let's play the video.
My name
Boo.
is Chris Martin, and it's no secret that my family's private group chat was shared. I'm the pastor of Cathedral of Faith Church, and the words that were in that group chat has hurt people, and I own all of it. I apologize and I repent to everyone who was implicated in my careless words. Things done in private still matter. As a pillar of this city and a leader of this city and a person who has been vocal about everything and worked with so many people, I wanted to say that I owe you all an apology. My family, we all owe you an apology. I'm sorry for what I've said carelessly because it has hurt people. It was never my intent to hurt anybody, but I did. I take full responsibility and accountability and ownership for my words and my actions. I pray that this community and both campuses of Cathedral of Faith Church will find it in their hearts to restore me and to let me work hard as I can to rebuild your trust. I have repented to both of the congregations that I serve. And I'm asking Saginaw and Flint and every surrounding area and anybody that's have worked with me or I've worked with to please forgive me. I take full responsibility and I repent for my actions. I'm asking God to make me a better pastor. I'm asking God to help me with my decisions as it pertains to my family and my words, because I have hurt people and I didn't mean to. I never meant to hurt people, but I did, and I'm sorry. I hurt people by the things that I said, and I'm sorry. And I pray that everyone who watches this video will find it in their hearts to forgive me. I thank everyone for the calls and the prayers that have came to me. I am seeking the Lord to be a better person and a better pastor. I will work hard as I can to receive your trust again. I just pray that I can be received again. Thank you so much for this. And please know that I take full accountability for me and my family's
Look how he's rubbing
actions.
his hand.
I am sorry. And I repent to everyone who was offended, every person who's affected, and every person that is hurt. My prayer now is that healing can start throughout our city and throughout both of the congregations of our church. I am truly sorry. Thank you.
Wait, let me translate right now before you say anything. Translation, let me translate that.
Now, hold on. I need to put up something. Put it up on the screen. I sent you something, and then you can talk while he's going
Okay.
on.
Read your
Producer
chat.
Jazz.
Read your chat. I'm about to put it up.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Okay. Oh, so Carol, go ahead. He's gonna put it up. So you got the
Okay,
floor.
so
I'm just disgusted.
I didn't want to be talking over him while he was doing the video, but did y'all see how he was rubbing his hands together? That's right. Look at the body language. Who was that on here that said, look at his
Michael
body
Platt.
language? Okay, his body language. This is what his speech said according to his words and his body language. I'm Bishop Chris Martin, and y'all know I ain't no bishop for real. I've been pulpit pimping a long time, and this is going bad. I think this is going to F with my money. But I want y'all to forgive me, because the player got to eat. And for real, I do feel like they a bunch of hoes and stuff, what I said. But please forgive me. I hurt their feelings, okay? I hurt their feelings. And, I just hope that I can continue to pulpit pimp in good faith. I hope you continue to put your money in the a collection pot. I'm so sorry that me and my family was talking about y'all and included y'all on the chat, but you wasn't supposed to be in the chat. And please forgive me and my family, because they gonna need to pass the play around when I ain't there. Don't hold no grudges. We need our money, honey. And we ain't got nothing to do with these folks that's out here LBGTQing and all of that. But it wasn't my business, and I shouldn't have spoke on it because I got caught. So the next time when I'm talking about everybody that's out here slanging it to and fro, left to right, getting it in, hip swiveling, I'll make sure that I don't put it in the family chat, and I'll put it in the chat to just me and my wife. And to everybody, I am so sorry. And mother F all of y'all that really don't like me. This ain't for you. But for those of y'all that go to my church, please keep coming to church, and please keep kicking in like Era Flynn, and keep doing what you've been doing, baby. You know a player gotta eat. You know a player gotta eat now. And I'm so sorry. And F all the haters, and for all of those who exposing me, y'all can kiss my ass. No, I'm not gonna say I'm sorry to y'all directly. I'm gonna do this bullshit apology, because that's what my bishop said I had to do to keep my money rolling. So until the next time, let a player play and get the F out my way. Peace. That's what that transfer. That's what that translated to.
Oh, oh, oh. We're gonna rubber stamp that. So one of the things that I'm looking, I'm like, he kept saying, I repent to the people. You
Right.
repent
Not
to
to the people
God.
he offended. Not
Right.
to the people he offended. You were supposed to apologize to them directly. You named them directly when you got in their personal business. You named them directly.
So
Apologize directly.
So Christians are to repent to God. He did not repent to God. He said, I repented to the congregations, both congregations. Specifically, they acknowledge their sins, confess their sins to God, and seek forgiveness, while Christians also may confess to other people. It says confess if their actions have directly harmed them. The primary focus of repentance is on turning back to God and seeking his forgiveness, seeking God's forgiveness. I don't think that was asking for God to forgive me, because did he say for God to forgive him?
Wait. First, let me
Like,
say this. Let me say this too. And yes, you're right about the forgiveness and repenting to God. But also, when you have publicly offended somebody,
everybody,
publicly humiliated somebody,
everybody.
by name, you're supposed, just like his kahunas was big enough to talk all his big ish, they supposed to been just that big when he came on there and said, Miss Margaret, I was out of line, I was in my flesh, I am a human being, I apologize, because you're right, when you served up under me, you was faithful, and I had no right putting my mouth on you like that. I apologize, because see, when you apologize and you repent, you got to be specific as to what you're apologizing and repenting for. I've heard a lot of people, well, hell, you do that all day, every day. So which time is you talking about?
So for me, and then we can think of how the Catholics, you go to confession hall and you confess, but you're supposed to repent to the Lord, and he needs to apologize and ask for forgiveness from also the congregation. Well, he didn't just do the congregation, because he talked about everybody. Let's just Christopher Martin. I need my apology to be just as big and loud as that lying post you made on your social media page, and then block me. So I couldn't respond, because all these how you gonna be the lying bishop? You got a lying parishioner, Liddell Lewis, and Liddell Lewis claimed Mayor Weaver wasn't in there for committee meetings, councilmen. Just be telling lies. So only thing he can give and feed into, sow into his body of his congregation is lies, deceit. That's all he's got. And so when we look at how Liddell is, how she gonna get better when her bishop ain't better?
And that
She
was my
can't be
point.
a better child of God because he's not a good child of God. He a whole bishop, and he didn't say, I don't, did he say, I repent to God and I'm asking this community, I'm asking my parishioners, for forgiveness. He mad as hell he got caught. That's what he mad about. Let's keep that 100. He's mad that he got caught because he was pimping them. They was sending them on vacation. They went to Paris. And that young lady, I believe everything she said. He took his whole family to Paris, all these things at the congregation, because he made himself an elitist. And baby, when God decides to unveil that cover and show you for who you are, this isn't humiliation. This is what he worked for. When you are a whole bishop, you don't follow the word of God, you don't say what God is telling you to do, when you don't work for the people, this is what you get. I said, I'm going to
Yes.
show you. I'm going to show it. I'm going to unveil you. I'm going to unveil who's standing next to you and the other person standing next to you. I'm going to, and Mayor Neely might need to watch it because everybody standing next to him got some problems. They up there in them press conferences. He got some problems. And so we have to understand, who do we repent to? I didn't hear him say he repented to God, and he should have said, I repent to the people, I repent to the
He didn't
congregation.
apologize. He didn't
No,
say, did he say
he
God?
didn't say he's gonna unblock people because he done blocked everybody. Now,
And then this is my thing. This is the same man that wouldn't let Jedediah Brown in there, and they treated him like dirt. And they was out there. You remember how his little parishioners or whatever, whoever they were treating Jedediah and talking to him. There is nothing godly about this man, okay? And if there ever was somebody pimping in the name of Jesus, it would be him, okay? Nothing about what this man does is Christ-like. Okay, he's
no.
he's right there for all the messy, all the scandal, all the nasty. But I've never seen him give to anybody. I've never heard him support the people. It is always the establishment, and that's because I think he's seriously compromised. And I think if you have not listened to that lady's complaint or her Facebook post where she was exposing him and what all he is into, that would explain why he's lined up with some of the people he's lined up with, okay? And he has a tower, the broadcast tower up there that he makes money off of up at the Cathedral of Faith. But here's the thing, when they put
It's in
that in
his
your
name.
community, they're supposed to take a like a survey or something of the surrounding community for a such a distance in the area. I can't remember the exact distance, but they're supposed to ask you, how do you feel about that being in your community, or do you want it? Because those waves at one point were said and believed to cause cancer. He did not get anybody's approval, nothing. And I've been living in the first ward long before he hustled up on Gundry School and got on the school board and pimped in the name of education and made a fool out of the school district and took the Cyrus Center and pitched it off to the competition, which is a charter school, which is illegal. The school is not supposed to sell buildings or properties to their competition. Okay, so he got his tail on the school board, hustled up on Gundry, gave away the Flint Community School Board's best building down there in that beautiful cultural center, and gave it away to Mott because nobody can have nothing nice unless Mott say it's okay. And so that's how they get a lot of their little kickbacks too. They all tied in together. That's why
So
the
Black
community.
Rain said, and can you put that one up? Black Rain said, and thank you if you're joining late. Thank you everybody who is joining late. Hey Jessica, Anifa, a
Yes.
Detroit boy. So Black Rain says people, especially Black folks, are so guilty of blindly following anyone that looks or sounds good. I think that is
Yes.
we have some issues in our culture with that. I agree.
If we
I
see
agree.
other people that we think got
Queen
something
Hanifa,
or
I
are
think
important
I went
or
past
with
yours.
fancy titles, we don't care to do no research. We just jump on it. So and so supporting him. So I heard he was good. And then there
Mhm.
we go. Then we got the devil sitting at the head of our dinner table. I
So
think
I
a
want
lot
to
of the, let me see.
let's
She said,
close this out because I want to get on to and we're gonna have to do a part two
Yeah.
because it's something that we won't get to. So Christopher Martin is a pro. I don't believe that was sincere. I believe he was forced to do it. It wasn't sincere. How you gonna apologize to all the people you got blocked? The apology didn't go through. It was on
Well, he wasn't
TV.
apologizing to them. That's why they was blocked. He didn't want them under no certainty to make the mistake of thinking he was apologizing to them. That's what that was about. My
Mm-hmm.
bishop said, I got to say I'm sorry. So I repent. I'm sorry. Anybody
Hanifa,
that's still
Queen Hanifa
sitting under him
Ayake stated
gotta
that
be shamed.
money is the God he is serving. And money, can
Yeah.
you put that one up? And that is true. Money is the God he serves because he gonna be with whoever the mayor. He will snuggle up to whoever the mayor is, and that's what he does. He don't
Hmm.
care. It's money and influence. And when he's so thirsty to do whatever, and he's willing to lie, cheat, steal, dog, drag, talk about, destroy people for it, this is what he gets. So I want to
And
go
he
on
needs,
to I want to go on
and
to
he
the
needs
next
to
one.
start. He needs
Hold
to
on.
stop talking about gay people too, because there was a
The
rumor out that
fixation
he
on
was
gay people
questionable.
is weird.
And it was a rumor out, and this is allegedly, because I don't know what this man does and who he does it with, nor do I care. But I'm going to speak on it because he's always speaking on it. But it is a rumor out for a long time that he was a homosexual. So, and usually a lot of people that are having struggles within themselves attack the very thing that they are, wrestling with. So I don't know, but he does seem to have a fixation on homosexuals
Mhm.
and
It's a
stays in their
weird
business.
fixation because he mentioned, and I can't find that one video, but we can play it the next time. So there'll be a part two because we haven't even put up the text messages, and there were a lot of them. And so, and his messages that he put up, and he lies and doesn't take things off. Producer Jay, you're on here. What's up?
I just gotta do one thing with your permission.
Go ahead. Y'all know I'm.
I just got to because
Go ahead.
we gotta have a replay. Hold on 1 second. We gotta have a replay.
Okay, his body language. This is what his speech said according to his body language. I'm Bishop Chris Martin. Y'all know I ain't no bishop for real. I've been pulpit pimping a long time, and this is going bad. I think this is gonna F with my money. But I want y'all to forgive me because the player gotta eat. And for real, I do feel like they a bunch of hoes and stuff, what I said. But please forgive me. I hurt their feelings, okay? I hurt their feelings. And uh I just hope that I can continue to pulpit pimp in good faith. I hope you continue to put your money in the a collection pot. I'm so sorry that me and my family was talking about y'all and included y'all on the chat, but you wasn't supposed to be in the chat. And please forgive me and my family, because they gonna need to pass the plate around when I ain't here. Don't hold no grudges. We need our money, honey. We ain't got nothing to do with these folks that's out here LBGTQing and all of that. But it wasn't my business, and I shouldn't have spoke on it because I got caught. So the next time when I'm talking about everybody that's out here slanging it to and fro, left to right, getting it in, hip swiveling, I'll make sure that I don't put it in the family chat, and I'll put it in the chat to just me and my wife. And to everybody, I am so sorry. And mother F all of y'all that really don't like me. This ain't for you. But for those of y'all that go to my church, please keep coming to church, and please keep kicking in like Era Flynn, and keep doing what you've been doing, baby. You know a player gotta eat. You know a player gotta eat now. And I'm so sorry. And F all the haters, and for all of those who are opposing me, y'all can kiss my ass. No, I'm not gonna say I'm sorry to y'all directly. I'm gonna do this bullshit apology because that's what my bishop said I had to do to keep my money rolling. So until the next time, let a player play and get the F out my way. Peace. And no,
So
I
that
didn't
was
write that up. I didn't write that up. That was off the dome.
a replay, everybody. He did a replay of that. Okay, so we're gonna go on to one of his little best little lion, Liddell Lewis, who is fixated now on Jonathan Jared. And this is weird. The fixation with this church and its members is weird. You gave him the read. You read it from left to right, up, down, but 2 snaps up. You gave him the
Producer
read.
Jay, can you send me that clip? Can
He
you
gonna
send me
probably
that?
do it in a what's the name in a short.
So it's
Yeah, but
already
send it
about.
to me too.
I got you. It's already about to be a short. Just as soon as we get off here.
So we're gonna go on to his lion parishioner who don't ever apologize. So she made a statement during budget time. Oh, I want to do the video, please, because me and Carol gonna have to do a part 2, and we're gonna talk about how she just keep dragging Councilman Jerry. I don't know what her fixation is with him. She has a fixation with him also. Just weird, just weird. So she stated that during budget time, she told the Lion, said the Mayor Karen Weaver is never there. She never comes to city council meetings. She's not been to committee meetings. She says, and interrupt. And told her, I said, no, that's not true. I said, I would like to have the mayor come back because we were doing budget. The budget was, his proposed budget was 68.9 million. We took in 64 million and we passed a 60.9 million budget. And we wanted to have him come. This was his budget. And she said, well, mayors don't come. Traditionally, they don't come. That's a lie. So Liddell Lewis, you are a lying member of the lying Bishop's Church, because we need to call people out for who and what they are. So can we play that little clip? And thank you to A.K. Cole. He found that and sent it to me. I thought he hadn't sent it. He said, yo, Tanya, I had sent that to you. Check your stuff. And he did. So thank you, A.K. Cole, for researching that, because people get mad, but sometimes, look, the video library, Liddell hates outsiders, but the outsider caught you in yet another lie. Liddell, you'll be caught lying a lot. Just like your lying bishop. Just like your
lie like a rug.
Lie like a rug, a cheap rug, a rummage sale rug, just like the lie around. And it
lying
just
like that. Look, lying like them wigs on her head, just flat down line. Just up there, just posted line.
Yesterday, on the show, let me know when you got it, producer Jay. Ready. Irel know what he be talking about. I'm sorry, he know what he be talking about.
Yeah, he know.
It was girl. I was so bad. I remember just sitting up in my seat going like, "Oh my God, let me pretend like he ain't." Because Irel was like, "I'm about that life today." So Irel ain't, they be trying to say Irel don't know what he's saying. He knew what he's saying. Producer Jay, did you find it? Look, he working behind the scenes, y'all. That
to Mayor Weaver and for her staff. If she's here, I'd like to hear what she wants us to know. Is this something that we might deal with out on the floor? I would start out in here.
Yep, no. Thank you for the opportunity to address you about this, because one of the things I said last week when the media came to me was, what was I going to do with the budget? And I told them I wanted to wait and get the input from the council and then make decisions. And as you see, and maybe some of you knew, I don't know if this is, you're just now seeing this, I did veto the budget. I said, because I do want to make sure that we're fiscally responsible. But I looked at what you all put in place, and one of the things we've always talked about is putting health and public safety as the priority as we move forward. And so while I'm vetoing this, I wanted to make some amendments, and I do have our acting CFO here to answer any questions as far as the dollars. But not only did I want to make sure we're taking care and putting things in place for fire, but I also wanted to put some things in place for police as well, because they have some issues and challenges that they're dealing with equally. And so I wanted to make sure that we have fire and police addressed in this.
Madam Chair. Yeah, so this is a document showing a veto to our proposed amendment budget. Is that what this is? A document showing that the proposed amendment budget that we voted on is being vetoed?
I have to I vetoed it in its entirety.
Okay, and so,
amendments for fire.
And so you're saying some of the stuff that I'm thinking. And I know it takes 6 votes to override a veto. Those particular budget amendments, I look forward to the talks with you and your staff about that.
All right. This brings us to the first thing on the agenda, which is Mayor Weaver. It's good to have you here.
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to sit down and join us?
You can sit up. Promise you're in good.
No, it doesn't matter. Actually,
I mean, the reception is good. The reception is good for the
first,
public.
let me say to Madam Clerk.
Dr. Karen Weaver, I know that used to be the mayor at a budget hearing meeting. That ain't even city council. That's a budget hearing meeting, ain't it, Miss Burns?
That is, and where was our mayor? She said he did. So, producer Jay, this is gonna be their last
Okay.
video. Can you put up the video where Liddell Lewis was caught lying again? And this is budget time, budget, and she was there for. She was in there not for restoration. She was telling she wanted every service line fixed and repaired.
And let me say this:
Go
the
ahead.
most significant thing that was said in that hearing that I heard was
Police and fire.
public safety, health, and public safety is a priority. So we will be revisiting the budget and changing some things because our police department is facing some challenges. See, that's what a real leader
Well,
do. Make sure
that's
public
right.
safety. And
So
look
let's
at this
play the video,
blue.
Carol. Then you can commentary after this.
Oh yeah, because I'm gonna tear her up.
I do appreciate the amount of attention that we have received in the chambers. However, we want to make sure that everyone is familiar with the standard order of operation here. So I would like to encourage each and every one of you to reach out to the city clerk so you all can get a listing of the rules so you all will know what you are beholden to. Because a lot of residents, they were not pleased at what they saw. A lot of voting residents were not pleased at the chaos, the vulgar language, the threats, the violence. It was not acceptable. And so what they continue to ask us to do, they ask us to make sure that we enforce the rules to make this a safe place for all residents. A lot of people felt threatened. A lot of people were scared. And this is not the kind of chambers that we... Hold on, could you pause my time?
Please pause the time.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And so, we can't expect the people in the street to have decorum when we don't have it here. Rules are meant for a reason. So we can't expect the shooters and the stabbers and the people like that to do it when we are breaking rules here. A rule is a rule. So either you're for chaos or you're for peace. When you're at the lectern, speak your piece, but you can do it respectfully. Imagine yourself sitting up here. Imagine yourself being in this position. We hear you, we work with you, but you must have decorum. If we again.
Please pause the time.
Yeah.
Members of the audience are reminded that this is council response. Council has their opportunity to respond to your comments. Continue.
Excuse me, sir. That's your warning. Okay.
Well, this the blue shirt.
I can't see who it is. Can you show me who it is?
It's the gentleman in the blue shirt who just yelled out, "Woo, I just got here."
Point of order.
What's your point of order, Ms. Burns?
Councilman Liddell Lewis does not have the authority to give someone a warning. You are the chair.
Correct. That's why I said, could she point out who it is? She did not issue them a warning.
Yes,
she
did.
can't.
She said, "Sir, that's your warning."
So let me help you out.
Nodding his head, correct.
Let me finish my sentence. She cannot issue them a warning. She cannot. That's why I said she did not, because she cannot. That is why I asked who was speaking.
The gentleman in the blue shirt. It seems like our colleagues are too busy trying to maintain chaos instead of order. And so we all should be making sure that people are in order. It's the man in the blue shirt, Madam Chair.
There's two men in the blue shirt. Oh, wasn't you? No. Mr. Clack, that is your first warning. Please continue.
Thank you.
Please hold. Yep.
I appeal the ruling of the chair.
All right, that's good. There's been an appealing of the ruling of the chair. Is there support? It's been moved and properly supported by the councilwoman in the 6th ward. Please start his 1 minute. Wait. I don't think they have your time ready. Please start his 1 minute. Go ahead.
Pause this right here. I don't think this
everyone on this council knows Mr. Clack didn't say a word, and it's actually funny that we're just going to give out warnings when we have no idea who actually said what. Like that right there is they're just going to give out warnings like they're birthday gifts or birthday cards like the mayor sends. This makes no sense. Mr. Clack said 0. Because you know his name, he's going to be the one that's a guilty party. And that's why I object. Mr. Clack didn't say anything.
Can we pause?
I think he's done with his time. Can you please start my 1 minute?
Maybe this isn't the one. Because this was the man in the blue shirt one. But I know they had did the one but there is one where she was adamant that it was not that she was adamant that it was not that Mayor Karen Weaver had not came. And that's just simply not true, because I literally got out my seat to go call her. And I said, look, you were here. What? I said, she says, girl, yeah, I was there. She says, absolutely. I was there whenever I needed to be there to take care of city business. And Liddell was like, no, it is not a requirement. No mayor has never done this before. That's not true.
And let me
when I came back to my seat, I said, I did a point of order. I just spoke with Mayor Karen Weaver, and she said that is not true. She did attend committee meetings, budget hearings, and she was there whenever she needed to be there. And she attended these meetings in Flint City Council chambers. I mean, she just can't help herself with lying. Yes, Producer Jay.
She actually said that she had received intel.
Oh, she sure did. She did. Oh, somebody just sent me. Look, people sending me somebody.
And the intel is about as effective as Cynthia Nilly on the state level. About as reliable as Cynthia Nilly.
Oh Lord. So, with that, somebody sent me a thing, and you're right. She did say she received intel, which was just not true. The fact that how readily her and her bishop lied. You cannot be up under a bishop who does not tell the truth, because what do you produce? No fruit or rotten fruit. And Liddell lies. She lies like her bishop. So, Carol, you got the floor.
Well, her thing was so boring. It ain't gonna even. But basically, what that came down to is Liddell took the floor. Liddell is the author of confusion on that city council, and Candace is her faithful wing. So my point in this is because Liddell didn't say anything there, and she told a lie, and she told a whole bunch of lies about this is how it goes. Whatever she was talking about, I don't even remember what she was talking about, but that wasn't how it goes. First of all, I'm going to say it again. Anytime you have a governing system, you have your leader, and then you have your check, and then you have your balance. Okay, you have your leader, and then you have your board or your council. Okay, nothing that's above a certain dollar amount should be transpiring without the approval of the blessing of your city council. You are not supposed to have a motion without votes, okay? The fact that these people, even Liddell, is sitting up here talking about Karen Weaver didn't come and no mayor does this. First of all, Liddell, you just got to Flint. You don't know what Karen Weaver did. You wasn't really here that much. You was just pulling in the towel, getting your footing and working
Carol,
on your
hold on just a second. Producer Jay chime in. Producer Jay.
Carol, put a fork in it for just a second. Now, y'all gonna tip the producer at 12:26 after this point, because Tanya Burns got me working. But hold on one second. Hold on 1 second. I got you.
So going back, just got intel that Karen Weaver never done that. And so
didn't get
at the
no
end of the
intel.
day,
You're not getting ready to shade her.
point of order.
You worried about
Point of
people with
order.
cameras.
What's your point of order?
She's talking on my time and shouldn't be.
Councilwoman Burns, please refrain from speaking out of turn. Go ahead.
In any event, I still encourage my colleagues to meet with the mayor so he can, again, we have extended this. This is why our council meetings last long. It's 10:21. We should have been done with this. Because we receive our
request for information.
Please pause the time. What is the request?
Does she know? It's because we got two different budgets, which is why we have to figure out, which is why this council meeting is running long. And that's why we request to see the mayor.
So if we could please refrain from using privileged motions. She has a minute and
From
28
doing our
seconds
job.
left. Let's just get through this. This is our last item. I think we've come to a consensus on it. Let's just get through it. Please go ahead.
Thank you. So keeping in mind that we had this for over 3 weeks, I want to just encourage and compel my colleagues to go get the information and bring it back to the body. That's very useful. If you go get the information and bring it back to the body, so we won't be here for a long time. And so again, so just wanted to state on the record, it has been no mayor has done this, and Karen Weaver did not do it as well. And I'm very happy that we're able to move forward in some capacity.
This girl ain't never told the truth in her life. And you know what? I don't know if her parents are still with her, but they should be shamed to be them raised a snake tongue demon like this girl. I don't know who lied the most. Her or them podcasters, Jody and Jody. Okay? I don't know who lied the most. They such liars. And the saddest part about it is this woman said that because of her position. She know good and damn well ain't nobody told her no mayors never. You would be a fool to think somebody in leadership has never ever came to any of these meetings. If you believe that, know that you are mentally limited. And if you're going to participate in government or share governmental information with others, you need to learn the process for yourself. If you believed no mayor ever, and not just Karen Weaver, if when she said no mayor has ever did this, if any portion of your soul bought into that, know that you are slow or out of touch with the process. Okay.
Well, and she's speaking because Sheldon never comes to meetings. Sheldon gave council 1 minute to speak.
Say what it is. Mayor Sheldon Neely never ever in the history of meetings ever came. Exactly. Say what it is. Don't lie on everybody else.
She does his bidding and does not mind lying and deceiving the people. So we didn't play the video far enough. I get up and went in the back to call Mayor Weaver. And then I came back and said, you're lying. Because I will not let her lie ride on the official record. I will not allow her lie to be on the official record to where that is the word. It is ingrained that someone did object to it, someone challenged it. And I set the record straight in that meeting after she told that lie. And let's this be Karen Weaver. No, you put a handle on her name, okay? You put is Mayor Karen Weaver. You can still say Mayor, or you can say Dr. Karen Weaver. But who she is not to Liddell or Councilmember Liddell Lewis is Karen Weaver. That's how disrespectful she is.
And let me say this. And did you know, I want everybody to notice this. Every time Liddell Lewis, because you know what, I'm so in my flesh, I need some prayer. But every time this army tank wig wearing, wannabe snake tongue lying Judas working against my community, every time she tell a lie and somebody correct her or get ready to get her straight, she caused this chaos. See how she Councilwoman, she interrupted my time. If you lying, I ain't interrupting your time. I'm stopping you from deceiving the community because you're a liar and you got an obligation that you're supposed to be up there telling the truth, idiot. And then to go along with that, after she attacked Councilwoman Burns, then she made up this SHIT on Michael Clay. See, that's to distract from the fact that she was caught telling a lie. See, every time she caught, some other mayhem break out. Every time she called out, it's some kind of Jedi mind trick distraction to another topic or another subject to take away from the fact that she's a flat foot Last Supper back having. Okay, let me quit. Lying self. She know good and darn well some mayors done came and she don't know what Karen Weaver done because she ain't interested in giving Karen Weaver no kudos. If Karen Weaver parted the Red Sea and walked with Jesus, she wouldn't admit it, okay? That's the time that those are the times we're living in. Just like they don't want to acknowledge the fact that Councilwoman Burns does some great work. Yeah, you can't read the packet, but you got 4 hours to be on the podcast. Well, she had time enough to figure out it was 2 budgets, and she claimed her old raggedy wig wearing self had been reading up for days while she didn't know it was 2 different budgets. Cause she ain't read nothing. Sheldon told her to say yes. And guess what she said? Okay, Candace, Sheldon said say yes. She ain't read nothing. Cause if she read something, she know the rules. She know how government operates. She know her job. She have no idea what she's doing up there. She's just trying to use a bunch of old big words to sound proper to pull the Jedi mind trick on everybody because she thinks so little of our intellect. She think we slow. Okay? She thinks she making a fool out of her. And it would be pertinent to this body if we sat up and did the intel and yakky and ain't saying SHIT. Okay? And ain't doing nothing but still in line and disrupting the community. Tanya Burns, Jerry Winfrey Carter, my Don Pfeiffer and Jared. And the reason she's on Jared so hard now is because they thought they were going to be able to convert him. They thought they were going to be able to pressure him. They thought because he was mild mannered that he was weak and they were going to be able to twist his arm and make him give them that 5th vote. And Mr. Jared's not moving fast enough. So now he's a target. Okay. That is what's going on. Okay, Miss Burns,
So we're
proceed.
gonna have to do a part 2 because we didn't get to, and that'll lead into our next show. So this is going to be the end. But before y'all do it, and then we appreciate your time. Look, click like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and then please put up donate to. If you can put up to the donation, kindly donate to Producer J Cash App. Producer J $1987 because we started on it. We had a late start and we made it happen. So please kindly donate
Go ahead.
to donate to Cash App $Producer J 1987. It takes time for us to go through all this, and also there's a run of show, there's preparation, and then he popped in some stuff that I hadn't seen, so he was Producer J on the spot.
On his job.
Jay on the spot. That's right. And so we want to make sure I bring you special guests like with Carol so that you get an opinion that's different than mine, but also bringing you items and facts that you don't see in the news. Our news did not cover that the Lentil Law Group did win this case, this part where they stated that that the ARPA committee was illegal. It did not state that. It did not state that we had on page 5 what a multi-member body was. It didn't state page 56, Article 6, multiple bodies, how they operate, how they function. So these type of things take time. So if you can donate $5, $10, $25, whatever is in your heart, it is greatly appreciated. It does not go to me. It goes to make sure I can keep a producer to help me to produce a show like this because I cannot do this by myself. Not gonna happen. Not ever gonna happen. I try to make sure we have useful information, great guests on, and Carolyn gave us some spots, some highlights.
And I want to say this too. Click like, share, and if you missed it or somebody didn't get the information, share the link with them. Also to Miss Lydia McNeely. Chris Martin is a bishop too. Okay, you can buy degrees these days. The level of ignorance that this lady operates from is not from a position of an educated person, okay? So
So
that's all I'm
closing
gonna say
words,
about
Chair.
that.
What you
Huh?
want to close with? What you want to close
Okay.
with?
I also want to invite you to listen in on 1420 AM Gospel Station at 5 o'clock every Friday to community conversation hosted by myself, Carol. Also, keep your eyes and ears peeled for Clutching My Pearls with myself, Karen Weaver, Stephanie Rogers, and the beautiful Miss Elizabeth Taylor. Also, tune in on Saturdays or whenever you can catch
Don't
up with
forget
Miss
Jamaica
Burns.
Patrick.
Say it again.
Don't forget Jamaica Patrick. No, Jamaica Singleton. Or did she
And
hyphenate her name?
Jamaica Singleton. She's remarried. Yes, go me Miss Jamaica. Get it, girl. Miss Jamaica. Also, I want to invite you to come to King Solomon Missionary Baptist Church on Sundays at 10:30. If you don't have a church home, or if a big setting is too much for you, go to New Day Ministries on Pasadena, where the pastor Calvin Randolph is officiating the services on Sunday. He is electrifying. Or you can go to Pastor Lake's Spirit of Victory. Those are three churches where I guarantee that you will receive a word. Don't worry about what the street got to say about the man of God. You worry about how they conduct themselves and how they treat people. And I can guarantee you, these three men of leadership will definitely line up with what God's word says they're supposed to be and what they're supposed to do. Too many times we're worried about people's personal position and not worried about how they operate in that lane. As the word of God says, they're supposed to operate, to be on a pod, to be on a group text, talking about so many people. There is nothing godly about that, okay? You have to control your flesh when you sit in these positions. I also urge you to not sign up to be a bishop or a pastor if you have a problem with controlling your flesh, or if you are only in it for the coin. Okay, a lot of these churches are nonprofits. That is why they turn their heads when people are hurting, going through, being abused, falsely accused, and things of that nature. We have to call these even pastors, okay? We cannot continue to allow people to victimize us, because that is what people that overthrow democracy count on. That is why they break the law, intimidate you. If you press charges on them, the law turns on you. They come after you. They file these frivolous lawsuits. As you know, I was a victim of one of those lawsuits. Standing up and doing the right thing is not going to be easy, but staying unified as a community is where we will find victory. Do not let them talk you against Councilwoman Burns, Councilwoman Jerry Winfrey Carter, Councilman Don Pfeiffer, Councilman Jared, because they are fighting for us. You might not like what that fight looks like, but when you are getting your ASS tore up, then you have to get down dirty, okay? You will not show up at a gunfight with rocks and win. Now, I'm just going to tell you, these people are pulling out the big guns. They are using your court system. They are using your police. They are using your government. They are using your tax dollars to prey on you and to victimize you. So I urge you to stay on the right side of the fence, stand up for what is right, call out corruption, call out crime. Don't be afraid to say these people's names, even though they are attached to fancy titles. Titles mean nothing, okay? God says you are to be a respecter of no title, okay, of a person and the principle. Okay, a title is just that, a title. And everybody is not capable of living up to the title. Know that. Just because somebody gave somebody a title, that doesn't mean they're going to be able to operate in that capacity. And when you elect people that are incompetent or don't care to do the job, because some of these people are competent, but they're not there to do the job. They're there to pimp us out. And it's from the pulpit, it's from the board table, it's from the position of leadership, it's from politics, it's from your federal government. Okay, we've lost SNAP, we've lost a lot of stuff. You can keep pretending like it won't affect you. I am here to tell you, oh baby, it will affect you. If you are not in the top 1%, it will affect you. You can pretend like you in with Sheldon Nilly and you down with the Kings. If you ain't sitting on that, if you ain't LaShawn, and let me tell you, if LaShawn don't win this election, he done with her. Okay? That's what they do. They use you up, chew you up, and spit you out. So keep that in mind. Keep listening to voices of reasoning. Stay in the light and out the darkness, okay? And remember, 14:25 o'clock on Fridays.
Now, y'all
Thank
know I
you.
ain't gonna have nothing else to say. That was about 9 minutes. So, so listen, I want to say to each and everyone, and to Carol, thank you for joining me this evening. And to each and every one of you, thank you for joining the the Tanya Burns show. And I'm gonna figure out some more dates. Look and see if you hit that notification bell. You will have it when we pop on. And also, we will be deciding what other days that there's a lot of information. Literally woke up this morning, found out, hey, the case that Councilman Mays and I had put in to the Michigan Appeals Court, that we won. And so to have that, to hear that today, warmed my heart. It was bittersweet because he had been losing so many cases, and the courts here in Flint just gave him no respect. He had cases that
Right.
had merit to it, but they gave him no respect. And in the Michigan State of Appeals Court today, he was given his respect. So it was bittersweet. I wish he was here to see that, because he was so
Yeah.
discouraged before his untimely death, because the system beat him down. They beat him
Yeah.
down. Those
Yeah.
5 council members beat him down. So stay encouraged, stay true to yourself. Don't give up. Don't give up. Do not give up. And stay prayed up.
Yeah.
Stay prayed
Yeah.
up. So, Producer Jay, let me say to Sheena Beckton, who is my moderator, and Patrick Jean, I don't know if he's on here because I can't follow. Hey, Beverly Lewis. And look, Beverly Lewis, I got to get you on the show because I covered your stuff yesterday. Beverly Lewis is the director of the Hasselbrink Center, and that asks him a ride or
Yeah.
die. Now, I'm riding
Yeah.
with you till the wheels fall off. And she's
Hey,
doing
Miss
great
Lewis.
things with the seniors. And if you weren't watching yesterday, that center will be moving on to Flushing Grove. They will be in the 6th Ward, and they are excited. Phenomenal things. There will be growth, and I'm gonna get you scheduled. And me and her talk late too. Everybody know when to catch me after 12 a.m. usually. So, Producer Jay, I want to thank you for being a fantastic producer, rolling with the punches with me, making sure that you were Johnny on the spot with putting up the information. I could not do this without you. And as we work together, and the little thing he giggled, like we were both good Googling the same time what to put up, because I'm watching. I'm like, why did he keep saying he repenting to the people? I'm like, you repent to the Lord. And but I wanted
And
to
you
put something up.
apologize to people you've offended, and he
Right.
has them do now one of them.
He got them all blocked. So Producer Jay, him and I at the same time were looking at something to put up, because some people are visual learners, and understanding that we all learn in a different way, but however we can get you the information, I want to get it to you. And that is the purpose of the Tanya Burns show. So Producer Jay, thank you. Thank you, Carol. And Producer Jay, is there
Yes.
something you want to say? Producer Jay?
I want to run. Y'all want to talk business or some other shit?
Him and his little quips.
I love it.
So on that, we are on our way out. Lydia said, Tanya, please have Carol on again. Absolutely. But she also has Clutching Your Pearls, and she's on 1420 a.m. But absolutely, anytime she's a guest, but me and her, y'all knows I have to fall back. So Carol actually probably talks more than me. So
She lied. I know she lied.
I love having her on. I love having her on. And so anytime she knows she welcome, she know that. We might both be falling. I'm like, girl, bye. Get off the phone with her. But listen,
You did tell me to go to bed last night, didn't you?
Yeah, because you was going to sleep. It was like almost 3 though. You was still on. It's like almost 3 a.m. And so, anyways, to each and every one of you, I appreciate you for supporting us and giving your time. And look, you can still donate. I cannot do the show without Producer Jay to bring you the information that each and every one of you need. So, Producer Jay, hit that exit music. What are you? It's not intro, outro. What do we call it?
Yep, it's the
Outro music.
outro.
Outro. Let's play our outro song. We got some new songs. I want to say special thank to Bishop Jordan in Chicago. As I said it before, Bishop Jordan help arrange these and do these shows. So I appreciate Bishop Jordan for producing and creating these songs, because your girl can't sing. So let's do the outro. Thank you, Bishop Jordan. And thank you, Producer Jay. And Carol, thank you for coming on. I
Thank you
appreciate
for
you. It was a great show.
having me.
It was a great show.
It's the Tanya Bird Show, don't you know? Like and share, let's make it glow. Flint City News, we bring the heat. When we fight, we beat.